Because I was in a relationship before I met him. I was in a relationship previous before.
Oh, now you're in a relationship?
Before I met you, yes. But I was never pregnant.
Probably about 30 minutes of you taking this young man through the ringer.
After allegedly spending some money on baby supplies for his ex-girlfriend's daughter, Noelani, Harvey asks that the court award him the sum he spent back. You may think, why? Well, Harvey strongly believes that Noelani isn't his. Meanwhile, her mother, Miss Jet, says otherwise and demands that a paternity test be done to clear the doubts. How did these two even start?
You met on a dating site.
I met her on a dating site, and she got pregnant 2 weeks after us having sex. She got pregnant.
Your Honor, that's a lie. In July, I started dating Harvey. Every day, I actually moved with Harvey in July. Every day,
in with
yes,
him?
I did. And every day we had sex every day.
You got pregnant
Non-stop.
2 weeks.
Woo! It's just the beginning, and there's already a lot of confusion. But anyway, the story continues with Jet moving out of the house when she finds out that Harvey cannot keep it in his pants. Now, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Despite the fact that she denies it, it appears that Jet made some demands from Harvey while they were separated.
She wrote me on Facebook demanding that I buy. I said, okay, Your Honor, I have the receipt, and it might be the date on there. I have the receipt where I bought everything on the list.
You need to make sure you bring me all of these things. 1, diapers. 2, baby wipes. 3, pacifiers. 4, bottles and a bottle scrubber. 5, her car seat. 6, a baby crib. 7, her clothes. 8, a breast pump so I can feed her milk.
Wow. But even after Harvey presented this piece of evidence to the judge, this woman still claims that he didn't buy any of those things. So it took everyone by surprise when Harvey pointed out his second piece of evidence, which was the receipt of everything she had listed in the text that he got.
Her
Pack
and play,
is close to what you get.
a pump, bottle scrubber, bedtime wash, everything you named off.
And he did not get all of those things, Your Honor. He did not.
He didn't.
No, don't act like you did.
I didn't get a pillow.
And how did you get to that point where you had doubt? When did you start putting 2 and 2 together? Be specific.
Okay, when I first met Sade, she got pregnant fast, and then we stopped talking. Okay, after she had the baby, she had told me the whole time she was pregnant, she was in a relationship.
Okay, this man has no chill, but I don't blame him one bit. So far, it looks like he has been doing his part, and yet Jet acts like he hasn't. This one about tagging another man to a picture of a baby that's supposed to be his is wild. That's on another level. However, Jet claims that she didn't, but Harvey has evidence of both the picture and the person who was tagged.
Why would you tag another man's name on your baby's
I
photo?
did not tag
She
anybody
claimed that
in
the dude
picture.
out of nowhere just tagged himself
He
in
tagged
it.
himself
And
in
she
the
doesn't know who he
picture
is.
by himself, and I
And
never
you
met
kept it.
him at all. And I actually have proof that I actually wrote the dude and I said, hey, my daughter, dad thinks that you're her father because you tagged yourself in the picture. And he said, oh, I'm sorry.
We have another couple drama on our hands. Now, the bone of contention has shifted to whether or not Harvey did spend so much money on her, apart from the baby supplies, like he has been saying. And from the look of things, he does not have evidence of the numerous cash he gave her, except this one-time $100 receipt.
I never kept it.
And so, has he given you
No, Your
any
Honor.
other? So he hasn't given you money multiple times.
He has not.
But he has given you this $100.
Yes, he has.
Okay, that's what I want to be clear of.
Your Honor, to be honest with you, I only have evidence for that. So she's gonna say, yeah, he gave it. She got to.
Where
But
is
if I
your
didn't have
other
evidence for that, she would have said I never gave her that.
This whole money thing is getting tiring. Meanwhile, Harvey is not the only one who can pull up evidence to prove his point. Jet can do it too, which is why she produced a chart of the expenses she made for her baby's needs. According to the chart, the $500 that Harvey is suing her for is like a drop in the ocean of all she has spent. Take a look at this.
You claim that what he's given you is merely a drop in the bucket.
Yes, it's really nothing. He
And
doesn't
these
do
are
anything for
your
her.
real expenses
Yes,
as
it
it
is.
relates to your daughter.
I provide all these things by myself.
You provided, the state provided. I'm telling you, the
What
feeding,
does
right?
it-
The
how does
feeding,
it-
the feeding alone, the state provides. She get wigs. The state
So how
provide
does
all
he
that
diaper
800 something. The state provide all that.
The judge was clearly done with both of them. Moving on, Harvey's witness, Miss Highsmith, was invited to give her testimony about the baby daddy situation. Well, she thinks that baby Noelani bears zero resemblance to their family, even down to the baby's head shape and hair.
Babe has no genes of us at all. Head shape
Looks
or
like
anything.
me, I have strong genes.
Well, that's my opinion.
So it's your contention that your family genes are strong.
Yes, ma'am.
And you see it in all the other children
Yes,
and the
ma'am.
members of the family. And when
Yes,
you look
ma'am.
at this baby, you just see nothing.
Only the red color, and they're both red. That's not good enough.
Jet's mother went full-on mama bear mode on Harvey. The witnesses of both parties have added their piece to the situation. But has it gotten any clearer? Definitely not. If anything, the situation has just gotten more tangled. Even though Judge Lauren wanted to get one thing straight, which is why Harvey doubts that Noelani is his reason still did not hold water. Look at this.
I don't understand where the doubt is coming from.
Your Honor.
The doubt, the reason why I stopped, okay.
Facebook tag, I got that.
Okay, the Facebook tag and
What
multiple
else?
dudes. That's my reason.
Your Honor.
Because multiple the multiple dudes, she got pregnant fast, and the departure, I was still there, and the real departure when I stopped seeing the baby was.
After all of that drama, I agree with the judge on this one. At this point, we just need to hear the DNA test results so this drama can be ended.
Mr. Harvey, you are not her father.
That's fine. It's fine, because I was in a relationship before I met him. I was in a relationship previous.
Oh, now you're in a relationship?
Before I met you, yes, but I was never pregnant.
Miss Jet, you so diplomatic now.
Because, no, listen, Your Honor, listen.
Oh, you see that attitude? You see that attitude Jet started giving? It was the beginning of so much rubbish that was about to come out of her mouth. You guys need to see this.
Probably about 30 minutes of you taking this young man through the ringer.
Yes, Your Honor.
And I asked you, could there be anyone else? And you said no, and then as soon as I read the result, you went straight into politician mode. Yep, everything's gonna be okay. Shaking hands and kissing babies.
In this episode of Paternity Court, Campbell submits that his ex-girlfriend, Makir, has connived to take his money for her personal gain, knowing fully well that her 9-month-old son, Legacy, is not his. Meanwhile, Mariah Makir claims that Campbell is spitting pure lies, as he is only denying her son his rights, because when he tried to get back with her, she refused. What's the story here?
And so you don't believe you're the father, not one bit.
Your Honor.
And you believe this Miss McSear just feel like she got her one.
Your Honor, I think, a fish on the hook, Your Honor.
She's trying, that's what
Yeah.
you think you are.
That's
Yes,
another
Your
lie.
That's not true, Miss McSear?
No.
Your Honor, I went through her phone on numerous occasions and I seen her talking to different men inappropriately, and it's outrageous. How can I trust somebody who...
Now, Campbell is not only accusing Makir of being a gold digger, but also that she's cheating on him. However, Mariah claims that he has no proof to back up the things he said about her infidelity. Campbell may not have physical proof to back up his claims, but he sure did prove to the court that he has a retentive memory.
One day she went out and I saw her in her bra and panties in the room with another man. When I came to the house, I came to come get some stuff, and when I came to that house, it was a random car sitting in that driveway. I came and I knocked on that door, and I seen her almost half naked in there with another man, and the man is sitting on the edge of the bed, but she has a whole
No, he
room.
was sitting on the bench and I had pants on.
You know that's a lie.
Okay, the court needed to have that laugh. Anyway, Campbell claims that after seeing Makir in such a situation and hearing the rumors of her going around with married men, he concluded that one of those men was the baby daddy. While this back and forth argument was going on, you would not believe the next thing that came out of Makir's mouth. Here, take a look.
It was no tree blocking that driveway because I left multiple times. during the
Yeah,
hurricane.
get from the mailbox.
I left.
From the mailbox.
I didn't drive
From the
over a tree.
mailbox.
I didn't drive over a tree.
You didn't drive,
Your
period.
Honor.
You don't even have a car. You was a bum when I met you.
Who? I was?
I put your bag in my house. I moved you in with me and my kids.
Because I had money, and that's all you wanted. You
got so much
my
money, but no stability. Sounds like a person I want to pin a
Because
baby on.
no, you took everything from me.
Woof! That took a wild turn. But Makir's testimony about the day her conception took place had to be confirmed. She claimed that there was a notable natural disaster that very day, so it was easier for the court just to Google up when precisely the hurricane happened that year. While doing their calculations, here is what the judge revealed.
Of September 10, 2017, knocking out power to more than 6.8 million people. So that was around September. So give me Legacy's birth date.
June 15th, 2018.
Of 2018, all right? And if you hit calculate, we see that the window of conception would be approximately September 20th to September 24th.
Okay, that took me out. Campbell, in an attempt to further prove that Legacy is not his, produced another piece of evidence to the court, and you will not guess what it is this time. Take a look at this and see for yourself.
Are you 100% sure that I am the father of this child? But you're sending me pictures of somebody else holding this child? Just random men that she have sexual relationships with.
How do you know I had sexual relations? That's
Because they're laying in your bed. They're holding your son.
Sounds like
They're in the bed.
Yes, one man was laying in the bed right next to him, and she got up while they were sleeping, and she took the picture of that and sent it to me.
Oh, Mariah, this isn't looking good at all. And the worst thing is, Campbell wasn't done yet. He revealed to the court that when he went through McKeer's phone, he found a text from a man asking her about his baby. Mind you, he also added that this was during the time she was pregnant with Legacy. However, Mariah denied his accusations, claiming that Campbell was not even there during her pregnancy.
you wasn't even there my whole pregnancy, so how could you say that? When you came back around, he was already 2 weeks old.
Yes,
Keep lying. You
after
never
that
was
fact.
with me. Not one day of my pregnancy. Not one.
All right, so I'm gonna get to that briefly. So what is your other piece of evidence, sir?
Your Honor, a friend of the family contacted me and they told me that Mariah had got a DNA test done with another man to see if he was the father of her son.
It's now a battle between one person providing a supposed list of evidence and the other refuting it as lies. At this point, the court can't really move forward because it is difficult to know who is lying and who is telling the truth. Plus, these two keep getting agitated and revealing more secrets, just like this one.
That
The
is
only
a lie.
reason you deny him is because I don't want to be with you no
That
more.
is a lie.
You a cheater.
That's a lie.
why.
I told you
Whatever.
on multiple occasions that we do not have to have a relationship.
All right.
That's not what
all
you
right.
said last night.
What did he say last night?
Last night he was saying how he wanted to be with me and he loved me and he just wanted to be a family.
And so, were you together last night?
Oh no, he was with his girlfriend.
Why are you looking like that, Mr. Campbell?
I'm confused.
Nah, these two are clearly wasting too much time right now. None of these things being said are going to help reveal Legacy's true paternity. It's all just a whole drama of who can reveal as much secret about the other person. And at this point, the court needs to put a cap on it and reveal the DNA result. But not before Judge Lauren dissects Campbell's reaction to what McShear said.
You have come into this courtroom. You over here proving your case. You got exhibits. You got specifics. And now all of a sudden I ask you about last night and you
Honor.
pleading the fifth?
I did. I might have said a few things to her, but me crying at the door, now that's going overboard. And
So you haven't cried before?
I have cried before, yes.
Okay, so we know this happened.
All right.
Finally, the day of reckoning is here after so many she said, he said, and numerous accusations. At this point, everyone is itching to know the truth. And if you are too, stick around and find out in this next clip.
Mr. Campbell, you are the father. You're the father. That is your beautiful baby. Why does it make you feel so emotional? Well, you have to do more.
Yes.
You all have gone back and forth. It has been explosive at times, entertaining at others, to be honest with you.
The issue of child support and money-grubbing women has made it into another episode of Paternity Court. Here, Robinson denies the fatherhood of Grant's son, Trevorus, alleging Grant fabricated it for child support. Robinson's license and tax return were seized for owing $13,000 in child support. How did this man even realize that he was in such a deep mess?
We had got a letter in mail saying that he was $13,000 arrearage in back-time child support.
So before this letter, you didn't know he was even the father?
Well, when me and him met and got married in 2009, he told me he had 3 children.
Okay.
And he was not in their life. I made him get in their life. Told him that you doing for my kids, you need to do for your own.
Yeah,
All
that's
of a
not-
sudden,
Okay, so Robinson even signed an affidavit to pay $60 monthly in child support. Plus, Grant claims that despite the fact that he had another family, Robinson still catered to her and her baby's needs, and would even spend time with them, playing the role of a father. So what went wrong? How could they go from being like a happy family to Robinson denying paternity?
So take me back. I want to understand this relationship a little bit. You all met and you started a sexual relationship.
Yes, ma'am.
And how long after that did you realize you were pregnant?
We started dating October the 7th, 1989. And
they
we'll
were
go
not
to the-
never in a relationship.
Your Honor, yes, we are. And as a matter of fact, where was you in 1989 when we was together?
Well,
How did you know
I'm
what
with
was
him
going
now.
on?
I'm with him now.
Okay, is Robinson's wife his mouthpiece? I mean, Grant tells the court about how Trevorus was conceived, an act that occurred between him and Grant. Yet, his wife continued to do all the talking despite not being present the day it happened. Seeing this, the judge had to direct the question of the sexual relationship to Robinson for his contribution.
Mr. Robinson, you do acknowledge you had a sexual relationship with Miss Grant.
I did.
You did. Okay. What I want to understand is you went up and you signed the acknowledgement of paternity. When
Yes.
did you become doubtful?
2 years ago, when this other man approached him and told him that he was the father.
When they
So,
got
Mr.
the pay,
Robinson.
they had to pay $13,000, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Robinson, at some point after you sign this acknowledgement.
A particular Mr. Eddie Ellis is now in the mix. Who exactly is this Mystery Ellis? Could he be the man Grant previously spoke about having a sexual relationship with before she met Robinson? Let's find out.
So before Mr. Christian was conceived, you were in a sexual relationship with this other man?
Yes.
And that is Mr. Ellis?
That is.
Mr. Ellis, thank you for being here today.
Yes,
We are, of course, discussing the paternity as it relates to Mr. Christian. And we've heard testimony that says you approached Mr. Robinson at some point and said, I'm Mr. Christian's father.
Okay, now that's a problem. Whose testimony is the truth? Because clearly, one person is lying. However, Ellis is here claiming that he feels Trevorus is his son because Grant said so. Meanwhile, Grant denied his accusations, shutting down every testimony of his. Take a look at this.
If my son went up the tree, you know that if my son went up the tree, he came down. Now, at the age of 14, my child, apparently y'all don't know who he is, so where you been all this time? If you claiming to be the father and say, I said at the age of 7 or 8 that he was your child, so why it took you that long to come in and respond to him, and now all of a sudden you saying that he's your child? Where is my support?
Would you look at this man shooting himself in the leg? Did she say he is your son or not? Comment. Man, at this point, I don't even know anymore. And all of this doesn't even get easier because the next set of testimonies turns into a he said, she said drama between the four of them. Suddenly, even Ellis isn't getting his story straight, just like Grant said here.
Come on, get your story straight.
Going through the years, now you and him then broke up. Now all of a sudden, everybody going around saying, hey, man, that's your son.
Thank you, everybody else, not Tisha, everybody else saying
You
that he's
said
yours.
it, Will.
Everybody else. Your mom even the one that agreed to say he was yours.
He stayed with my mother.
He stayed his sophomore year of high school with her. We had a falling out.
What exactly is the point here? I don't see any. At this point, Judge Lauren decided to take Christian Trevorus's testimony. Well, maybe we would get a clearer picture of what he says. Let's see what this grown man has to say about the situation his parents have put him in.
So, Mr. Christian, were you ever told that Mr. Ellis was your father?
I was told that it could be either of the two.
That it could be either of the two?
Yes, ma'am.
And who told you this?
My mom.
She did?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Ms. Grant, your son's saying that you honestly told him it could be either of these two men.
Mm-hmm.
In your prior testimony, you said you were only sleeping with Mr. Ellis way before Mr. Robinson.
Well, now we know for sure that Ellis could also be Trevorus's potential father. Now, who exactly is the true father? Only DNA can tell us for sure. But before we get there, it looks like the Robinsons still have something to say, especially Mrs. Robinson, who has surprisingly been quiet for a while now. My guess is that it has to do with the $124 claim.
Miss Robinson and Mr. Robinson, you're saying you want $124 because you have to apply to get his driver's license reinstated because it was suspended because of failure to pay his support.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you believe that this was not lawful and not appropriate because he really is not the father.
Yes, Your Honor.
I know exactly why he's on child support.
Right. Thank goodness that chapter is closed. We can finally move on to helping Trevorus find his biological father. It is sad that for more than 25 years of his life, Trevorus has not exactly had someone he could call his father wholeheartedly. Although Ellis was closer to his family, and he also knew that Robinson was his potential father, he said that neither of them did anything fatherly for him.
Neither one of them actually did anything. Like, I just, referred to him as more of a father because his family, like he said, they reached out towards me more.
Yep.
Mr. Ellis's?
Yes.
And what about your relationship with Mr. Robinson and his family?
There was no relationship with me and his family.
So you felt
we sent
rejected
him
by
money.
his family?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, we
and
sent
they would
him
tell
money.
you you're not.
When did you send me money?
We sent you money
When?
to Western Union
When?
back in 09.
You show me a receipt and I'll tell you that I'm a lie.
Big ups to Mama. By playing the role of a mother and father, she did her very best to ensure her son got all he needed. Despite the fact that Grant brought up Trevorus without any of them in her life, the Robinsons claim that Grant is trying to get some money from them. Well, at least that's what Grant says.
They saying that I want money. I hadn't had money in 24 years of his life.
My mom
I
is
worked,
not money hungry at all.
I worked all my life since he became a child, since I brought him into this world. I've been working since I was 14.
$13,000 behind. That's what you
Okay,
want.
but if you was paying child child support, you shouldn't be $13,000 behind.
That's right. Grant has had enough of Mrs. Robinson's accusations of her being a gold digger, and she just had to give it to her straight. You know, one thing is weird though. It's a shock that even up till this moment, Mr. Robinson barely said a word. That's his business. Anyway, it is high time Trevorus knows who his biological father is, and hopefully has an actual father figure in his life. So, I present you the DNA result.
Mr. Eddie Ellis, you are not the father. Mr. Dexter Robinson, you are not the father.
Thanks God.
There's nobody else?
Has to be at least one more. And I know that's a long time to think back.
Oh, I did not see that coming. Wow. The hunt for Trevorus' father is still ongoing, but we all heard Grant when she admitted to not knowing if there was another possibility. This is a lot, but the one thing we know is that Trevorus' father is still out there.
I think you got some thinking to do. You have an amazing young man here. It's about finding out the answers for your child. He deserves that. Mr. Robinson, Ms. Robinson, I need to inform you that there is no guarantee that you will be released from your obligation to pay those arrears, because under the law, when you sign that acknowledgement of paternity voluntarily, you're responsible.
Good men done wrong on paternity court.
You don't go and give another man.
I know I made a mistake at one time.
How would a child know to tell another child that's not your father?
And she didn't never want to know who the father of this child was.
No matter what, still my daughter.
Looking at his face, you could tell he had been through the worst days of his life. From having a manipulative girlfriend to thinking he may or may not be the father of the girlfriend's son. Journey of roller coasters, trust me. I hope you're ready. Your minds are about to be blown.
Ms. Yancey, you are here to save your family by proving to your boyfriend that he fathered your 7-month-old son, Kahari. You testify that his paternity denial is tearing you apart. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Thomas, you claim that after finding pictures of Ms. Yancey and the baby with another man,
living in denial of being the father of their child, Mr. Thomas is determined to find out who really owns the kid in the picture. Now, don't think their story didn't start off as a love story, because it did. But I guess not every love story ends up with the princess having her Prince Charming and a perfect family.
Well, it's important because, we've been having a few issues ever since my baby was born. It would go, he was there through the entire pregnancy, and we would go back and forth after the baby was born about, the baby doesn't look like him.
Oops! Now there's trouble in their little paradise, and it looks like everything is hanging on the line. The trust issues start to spiral into the relationship, and things start to fall apart with both Mr. Thomas and Miss Yancey seeing different people. An open relationship now? Well, I didn't see that coming.
We were just getting back together. We were still,
there was a little brief breakup?
Yes.
Okay.
He was seeing somebody, and then I started seeing somebody, but basically that all transpired from us just not being pretty much truthful with each other.
The tension starts to build. They start yelling at each other, and it turns into a total mess. We broke up, but we didn't break up. It wasn't a serious breakup. You still needed me on and on and on. Even the judge has to shut them up at some point. If you ask me, these two definitely need a therapist.
But I thought y'all said you all were broken up.
Right, exactly. When we were breaking up,
that's not correct.
To me, I felt like we were over.
If we were over,
and I told him that multiple times.
If we were so
we're
over,
done. Don't call me. Don't come to my house. Do not disturb me. Leave me alone.
But
he
at the same time, she's still calling me. She'll still come to my mom's house.
Things get pretty cozy, and Miss Yancey finds out she's pregnant. I know what you're thinking. Could it be for Mr. Thomas? Or could it be for one of the guys she was hanging out with while on a break? Well, hold your breath. You're in for a surprise of a lifetime. Trust me.
Mr. Thomas, take me to the time you found out Miss Yancey was pregnant. When did you find that out?
We were sitting at my mom's house, and, she came and she said that she took a pregnancy test and she's pregnant. And I'm like, I was happy for the simple fact that over the years, we were trying to conceive and have a baby. And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking like, yes, it finally happened.
Boom! Miss Yancey drops the bomb in the courtroom, going on about how baby daddy might not be the dad of the kid. I bet you didn't see that coming now, did you? Tension starts to rise again, and things aren't looking pretty anymore.
Unfortunately, we've got to focus on your sexual practices during the time, Miss Yancey, because we have a paternity question concerning Kahari, which is your baby.
Right.
See, when you get in this loosey-goosey phase, nothing good comes of it.
Right.
There's no boundaries. You all still having sex with each other, presumably unprotected.
Like the good guy Mr. Thomas is, he was there for Miss Yancey and the baby. All he wanted to do was be a good daddy, but was his heart crushed? Well, I guess we'll find out soon. The emotions start to rip open through his mind. He has himself throwing questions in his mind. Is this baby mine? Does this kid really belong to me? I tell you, he is in troubled waters.
You were pregnant with Kahari. Was he there for you?
Yes, Your Honor, absolutely.
The whole way?
The whole way.
Even though you sent that text back and said it might not be your child?
Yes, I explained to him that skeptical.
And even though she was skeptical, you know, she told me, and I had my doubts, but at the same time, it was like the 50% chance it is mine.
Now all hell breaks loose. Baby daddy goes through her phone and finds out she's been texting another guy, saying that could be his child. Now that's just insane. Who does that? Mr. Thomas's mind comes down like a glass shattered into several pieces, with all doubts looking like a reality.
When do you start doubting again?
We had took a trip to Fresno to go visit family. I ended up going through her phone and I noticed that she has pictures with Kahari and the other man that could possibly be the father.
Why were you taking pictures with the other guy, Miss Yancey?
My mom looked at him and she told me straight up, I don't think that's Maurice's son.
Well, it's finally time to unveil the truth after so many lies and deceptions. The day of reckoning is finally here, with everyone itching to know the truth. Are you ready to find out? I bet you are. So take a deep breath, because here it comes.
Mr. Thomas, you are not the father. I'm very sorry.
It's okay, Your Honor. I still love her and I still love him at the end of the day, but if she wants, I feel like there's no need for me to try to build a strong relationship with him.
Well, that's not true. Now, see, listen, I support you in your truth, but I'm not going to let you tell yourself a lie.
Now this is going to be one epic paternity showdown. I mean, cheating on your boyfriend with your ex-boyfriend is one thing, but cheating on your boyfriend with your ex-boyfriend and getting pregnant? She's very lucky to be alive. Let's dive into the juicy parts of the heartbreaking love saga, shall we?
Mr. Matlock.
Yes, ma'am.
You say that a few years back you were suddenly called away on family business.
Yes,
While
Your Honor.
absent, you claim the defendant, Ms. Monroe, invited her former lover to move into your family home.
Yes, Your Honor, that's correct.
Upon your return, you say you forgave her and resumed your sexual relationship.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you think we've seen it all? Trust me, I'm quite sure you've never seen something like this before. This screams all shades of crazy in this relationship. Mr. Matlock took a vacation, leaving his girlfriend back in the house. Now prepare yourselves, because this will blow your mind.
Back in 2006, when me and Miss Monroe first got together, she knew I was back and forth from Fort Smith to Fayetteville because I have a son down in that area. Back in 07, I was down there for a week.
No, you said
you said
you were going to be gone a weekend and you were gone a month.
It was a week. You're lying. It was a week.
Now, while he was away, Miss Monroe, his girlfriend moved her ex into his house. Yep, you heard that right. She moved her ex-boyfriend into her boyfriend's house. Crazy, right? There's more. She didn't act like she cared or she was sorry about it. I can tell you're screaming right now.
He told me he was going to be gone for a weekend. So after the weekend, of course, being a girlfriend, you're going to care about somebody's well-being, wonder where they are if they're not calling you, if you have no contact with them. So of course, yes, I did call him. And then he never answered my calls. And this went on for a whole month.
So, Mr. Matlock, were you getting phone calls from Ms. Monroe and not answering?
No, Your Honor, I wasn't.
To make the situation even messier, she didn't just move her ex into the house, she was also sleeping with him. I gotta tell you, she has some nerve doing stuff like that. Mr. Matlock comes back from his vacation and things fly out of the roof.
You returned home.
She put her ex out. We talked on the phone
Because
about
I
the
wanted you,
situation.
I didn't want him.
I had feeling for her. I've been knowing her since we was young, since 12, 13. So I felt something about her. So we worked out the whole situation. We talked about it, we worked it out. I eventually moved back in the house.
The heavy bomb is about to drop into the mix. Now, after forgiving her and settling their differences, they go on to be lovebirds once again. Is this gonna last? Hell no! Mr. Matlock finds out she's pregnant from his sister. Boom! That's right, she didn't tell him. She told his sister. She really has some real nerve.
I get a phone call from my sister. What's up?
You ain't who
May
you
pregnant.
pretended to be.
Whoa, what you mean May pregnant? I just talked to her on the phone.
I told you that.
You didn't tell me that. You told me that after I talked to my sister, and you told my sister that you were pregnant. Anyway, after I found out that she was pregnant.
Now the heart-crushing revelation doesn't just stop there. He asks her who the father of the child is, and she tells him point blank that he isn't the dad. Hold up, I'm not the dad? It felt like all the air in the room disappeared and was replaced with anger. Mr. Matlock was definitely not going to stick around to raise a kid that wasn't his.
You have doubt. Do you know for certain or you just doubtful?
Once you say you are not the father to a man, that baby ain't mine no more. I didn't hear from her.
At what point did she then claim that you might be the father?
December 31st, 08. Me and her sister are friends.
Okay.
So I call her sister every New Year's. Happy New Year's, what's up? First thing out of her sister's mouth was, what's up is you need to check on your daughter. I didn't even know she had a girl. Matter of fact, when the baby was born, another man was in the hospital room with her when the baby was born.
There's no going back now. After paying for child support, he wants to know if all that money was not wasted on the wrong kid. Will it be a double dose of daddy drama, or will the clouds of uncertainty finally clear? The key to the truth was in the envelope. Here goes nothing.
Mr. Matlock, the wait is over. You are not.
I knew it. Go find your baby daddy. He else on child support. Oh, my money back. That's what I need.
You know, I know you feel as if this money's been going out the window and you've been paying for a child that's not yours and that you could have been paying that money to your son, and I understand why you feel that way, but
Mr. Pierce and Miss Covell find themselves wrapped up in the mysteries of lies, cheating, and drama of baby daddy. Prepare your seats, my friends, because this ride is about to turn into a catastrophe.
Mr. Pierce,
Yes,
you are summoning your ex-fiancée, Miss Covell, for a paternity test to prove that her 1-year-old son, Julian, is not your son.
That is correct, Your Honor.
You claim Miss Covell deceived you into believing you were the father, and it wasn't until Julian was 6 months old when she finally confessed she had cheated.
Now let's spill the beans on their now crashing love epilogue. You could see it all over his face that he was hurt. He was pained. He couldn't believe it was happening to him again. Sadly, this wasn't his first rodeo in such a situation. It's like the world is playing tricks on his mind.
So, Mr. Pierce,
Yes,
you believe this was truly necessary because you have doubt, am I correct?
Correct, Your Honor. I just, it's happened to me in the past before. I just have this doubt, and it's killing our family. It's killing the relationship I do have with the kids, and it hurts. It truly hurts.
I can see that it really does.
Mr. Pierce just wasn't having it. There was so much distrust in his gut. I mean, these two were about to tie the knot in a couple of months. But Mr. Pierce said, hold up, I gotta be sure the kid's mine. But is it? Is he the father? Trust me, I'm as curious as you are.
Mr. Pierce, say these things, Miss Covell.
It really hurts me. I know I made a mistake at one time. We were both going through an emotional roller coaster at that time period. I made a mistake one time. I understand that my son looks nothing like him, but he looks identical to me when I was a baby.
You don't see no color in that baby.
Diving into how the whole mystery was uncovered, Mr. Pierce was having the best relationship any couple could wish for. Then the walls start to crack and the truth starts to slip out. Ms. Covell cheated on him. Ouch! He couldn't keep his tears back.
I asked her, I was like, so was it around the same time? Is it possibly his?
And so, Ms. Covell, why did you finally come clean in that moment? Why not say something before?
From day number one, I had been wanting to tell him. My conscience was eating at me. It was killing me. But because we were in such a good place, I didn't want to ruin everything that we had. So that was my perfect opportunity. I didn't want to continue lying. He asked me directly. So I wanted to make sure that I told him the truth. I tried to tell him the whole story in one night. He wasn't having it. So it took about 3 days for everything to finally unfold and for me to finally tell him, yes, it was about the same time period as when I got pregnant with my son.
Everything and everywhere starts to get so tense. All emotions are flying about the place like a hive of bees. Ms. Covell regrets her actions, but Mr. Pierce is too hurt and is in no mood to forgive. His nightmares flash through his eyes like it's about to become real. I mean, the woman he loved cheated on him. How would you react if you wore his shoes?
Ms. Covell, I want to understand the timeline, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, and I hate to bring up painful memories, but that's how we get to the truth. Little Julian, when was he born?
May 13th.
May 13th. So this is here. Explain to the court you had that moment where you fell short and cheated.
We're in for a courtroom showdown of epic proportions, people. With his mind clouded by doubt, Mr. Pierce insists that it's not the only time she's cheated on him. He goes on listing times when she gave a whole lot of excuses about her whereabouts. You could almost feel sorry for him.
Say any couple words and make you feel good?
Go ahead and take the lie detector test. It was only one-time thing.
And I want a lie detector test. I mean, even after the baby, if he does prove to be mine, how do I know that it's not happened any other time? I mean, you're the queen of being late. You work 5 minutes away from home, and every day there's something.
It gets really crazy at this point, with Mr. Pierce dropping evidence on evidence like he was aiming to send Ms. Covell to prison. Mind-blowing revelation. Ms. Covell even had a lie detector test done. He sure didn't come here to play with anyone, trust me.
I want to show you a couple pictures here, Your Honor, that I brought for evidence.
I'd like to see that. Jerome, will you hand it to me,
First
please?
off, this is my baby picture. Then this is Julian's baby picture.
Okay.
And I've cropped them here together, and you can see them side by side. Like every time I look at them, I have How can I
You're
not
right,
see?
though. He doesn't look like you. He looks identical to me.
Everything hangs in the balance. Their marriage, their child. It's all gonna go up in smoke if Mr. Pierce isn't the father of their child. Well, the moment of truth is here, people. Brace yourselves because things are about to get very intense. Let the truth be told.
Mr. Pierce, you are Julian's father.
Yes!
I'm sorry. I really am
too.
sorry for putting you through all this.
I'm sorry too, and hopefully we can just move on from here and build back to what we had and what we can have.
All you could feel for this man right here was sadness because he didn't deserve all he went through. You wouldn't believe your ears if I told you how insane the drama was. Are you ready for your minds to be blown? Grab your popcorn because here we go.
Ms. Lapine, you say for the past 30 years, you'd always believed the defendant, Mr. Lapine, was your dad.
Yes, Your Honor.
Then just months ago at a family dinner, you were told by a family member that he's not your biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Still in shock, you state you're here today to finally discover the truth.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Lapine, you say you've spent years in jail for unpaid child support and your life has been turned upside down.
Yes, Your Honor.
Jumping into the pool of questionable fatherhood, Miss Lapine was out for dinner having a good time with the family. Everything's going well then. Boom! A family member drops a shocking revelation, making her question if Mr. Lapine is actually her father. Out of the blues? Just like that? Hold on, because something ain't right.
We was at a family dinner and we was all just discussing how our parents was, and then family members started saying that, well, you don't know if he's your dad or not because you don't look like your dad and he might not be your dad.
Wait a minute, wait. Did you ever heard of anything like this?
No, Your Honor.
You would think it was all going to end there. Surprise, surprise. It didn't end there, folks. She asks another family member if what she heard was true, and my God, did she receive the most heartbreaking answer. They told her this wasn't the time and place to talk about it.
They gave you a name?
Gave me a name.
Of the man that was your father?
Yes.
Wow. Mr. Lapine.
Yes, ma'am.
For 30 years, all this time, you believe this young girl was your daughter?
Yes, ma'am. And I've been 4 to 5 years in jail. It gets rough.
4 to 5 years in jail.
Yes, ma'am.
For unpaid child support.
Yes, Your Honor.
For a young woman that calls you and then says, some family member told me you may not even be my biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Filled with confusion, she reaches out to her dad and asks him what the hell is going on. Then another bombshell drops. Mr. Lapine has been in jail for 5 years. Want to know why? Of course I'll tell you. He was put in jail for not paying child support for a kid he didn't even know wasn't his. Now that's mind-blowing.
You could be thrown back in jail again for being behind, and yet you still don't know whether you're her biological father.
True. I don't know if I'm her dad or not.
Have you ever been arrested for anything else besides this child support issue?
Never, ma'am.
Just getting behind in child support.
Yes, ma'am. That's it.
Now Mr. Lapine's other daughter, who of course looks like him, walks in and starts to talk about how they were teased as kids. Apparently, it's been going on since they were kids. The whole courtroom gets emotional with people feeling really sad and wondering what really happened.
After me and her separated, I was told by friends of mine that they had slept with her and other people.
Wow. So as you look at Ms. Lapine, do you feel like she looks?
No, ma'am, she looks nothing like me. And the dark
But your
skin,
other daughter, you claim, looks like you.
dark hair, dark skin, skinny, identical to me.
Jerome, I think it's time we meet her. Please escort her in.
Slowly, the hidden mystery starts to unveil itself, bringing up the little differences in the daughters that were ignored when they were little. And trust me when I tell you, these were some major differences. There was no single resembling feature from Mr. Lapine.
This is a picture we took last week of me, my dad, and my sister.
And you feel like you strongly resemble your father.
Right.
But Brandy does not.
Right.
When you look at this picture, Brandy, what do you feel?
I always thought that I just got my mother's side of the genes.
Things start to get tricky as Mr. Lapine explains why he left his kids when they were little. He came back from work one day and boom, his wife told him to leave the house and never come back. I'm sure you're filled with so much shock as to how this is all starting to add up. Trust me, I am too.
I left for 10 years.
You and her mother broke up.
I come home, she come into where I was sitting and told me, I want you to move out.
And how old was Miss Lapine then? How old was your daughter?
3. I just packed my stuff and left. Now I wish I'd never left.
So, Mr. Lapine, you have regrets
Yes, ma'am.
because you feel like you let your daughters down?
I did let him down.
It's been one hell of an emotional ride with these families. From having a daughter to thinking you had a daughter to going to jail for a daughter you aren't sure is yours. It's been one bumpy ride, honestly. Well, that's all about to end because the truth is about to pop out. The envelope opens and here it comes, folks.
Ms. Brandy Lapine. Ms. Lapine, Mr. Richard Lapine is not your biological father.
No matter what, still my daughter.
Are you ready for another roller coaster of mind-blowing revelations? Well, buckle up because you're in for a show with Ms. Shank and Mr. Robinson. From cheating to trying to know who the real father of their daughter is, these two go on a train wreck of emotions. Get ready for the drama, DNA, and a whole lot of who's your daddy.
Ms. Shank, you claim that when your daughter Serenity turned 2, Mr. Robinson began to doubt paternity.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, since then, you claim he's pulled away from your child and it's now breaking your heart to watch her suffer.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Robinson, you state from the moment Serenity was born, you were actively involved in her life and developed a very strong bond.
Yes, Your Honor.
The card of tricks was played on Mr. Robinson when he found out that Ms. Shank was pregnant. Like every dad, he was super excited that he was going to have a kid of his own. Don't worry, the breaking news is just around the corner. Ms. Shank shreds his heart by telling him he might not be the dad. Oh my God!
I want to understand what happened that changed everything for you as it relates to your little girl.
Up to 2 years of Serenity's life, I was there for her and Mrs. Shank until about 5 months. She was 5 months pregnant. She told me that I may not be her father because she slept with a friend.
So hold on, take me back. You said you were there for her, meaning when you found out Miss Shank was pregnant, you thought you were having a baby.
Yes, ma'am.
It was never ever mentioned to you that there could possibly be another father.
Miss Shank does some more shredding of hearts. She tells him that she got intimate with one of his friends while he was around. Ouch! Trust me, you needed to see his face when that news popped out. He was like a nuke waiting to explode.
She told me that she had slept with a friend of mine and didn't know if I was the father or if he was the father.
So she came clean.
Yes, ma'am.
So Miss Shank, that happened.
Yes, Your Honor.
There could possibly be another father.
I didn't know. When I first found out I was pregnant, he was there, like he said. We were in an on and off relationship. Around the time I had slept with him, I did sleep with somebody else.
As Mr. Robinson's walls come down crashing, more revelations start to unfold. He goes through baby mama's phone and sees she's been texting her cousin. What's she saying? She tells her cousin it's 50-50. Mr. Robinson might not be the dad. Now hold up, the roof in the court is about to fall off.
When did you decide to tell the truth?
5 months into my pregnancy, he had went through my phone and seen a text message I had sent to my cousin saying it was a 50-50 chance that he couldn't have been the father.
I'm missing some facts, and I need you to fill me in because you said when you found out you were pregnant, you said to yourself, he's the father, because I only had sex with this guy, the other guy, one time, and we used protection even though there was an issue, so he must be the father.
It even gets juicier. Mr. Robinson finds out that she's getting the other guy she slept with tested. Yes, you very much heard correctly. She was getting him tested and not Mr. Robinson. Ms. Shank is for sure a sneaky woman.
I found out that she was having the other guy tested, or she wanted to get tested and didn't have me tested.
You made plans to have the other man tested?
Yes, but couldn't find him. Because when my daughter was first born, she didn't look anything like him. She looked just like the other man.
Oh. And so, as Mr. Robinson was bonding with the baby, really stepping up to the plate as father, in your mind, you're looking and you're saying, my baby looks just like the other guy.
Yes, Your Honor.
And I need to have him tested.
Things start to melt down. Mr. Robinson already finds out the truth and then starts to withdraw from the kid. His mind is filled with thoughts that could fill up a stadium. Well, it was just getting clearer and clearer there were a ton of underlying issues at play here.
He'll call and talk to my son. Sometimes he'll talk to her, tell her he misses her and he loves her. And sometimes when he calls, like when he's with his family, he doesn't even ask to speak to Serenity. An example is a couple weeks ago, they came and him and his mother came and picked up my son. And my daughter was devastated because she couldn't go. She cried for about 20, 25 minutes.
Even sometimes when my son talks to his father on the phone, and after he gets off, Serenity says, I want to talk to daddy, and my son says, that's not your daddy.
How would a child know to tell another child that's not your father? See, that's a child in grown folks' business, where he doesn't belong.
Ms. Shank steps up to the stage to try to bring some clean air into the courtroom. She goes on about how she's been in a similar situation and how she thinks the kid kind of looks like Mr. Robinson. Is that true? Does Mr. Robinson really believe she does?
What have you observed of the situation?
Well, first I'd like to say that I'm here today to support my daughter. I totally understand why Mr. Robinson pulled away from my daughter Serenity, granddaughter Serenity. I was in a similar situation with my son. And after 5 months of bonding with this child, to find out that it was not my grandchild, it broke my heart. So I don't want my granddaughter to be 21 and find out that this man is not her father.
The tension was palpable, but no worries because the moment of truth was here. Time to spill the beans on whether this relationship had a future or not. All eyes were on the judge as she got ready to give the final verdict. Cue the mic drop.
When it comes to 2-year-old Serenity Shank, Jamario Robinson is her father. How do you feel, Mr. Robinson?
I feel great.
Good.
I feel great.
Now I see you're having another baby. I have to ask.
I know who the baby daddy is.
We know who the father
Yes.
is, and it's not Mr. Robinson.
No, ma'am.
So you all are off now.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh.
Great news, right? I'm so happy for the both of you. Your daughter is the most important thing.
All right, folks, today's case is Polson versus Callender, and it's a roller coaster ride of emotions. We have Rachel Polson, who's trying to prove that Anthony Callender is the father of her daughter, Zoe. But here's the twist. Anthony has some serious doubts. Let's find out why.
He moved out. He shows up with soup and a teddy bear. He asked for one last shebang.
How soon after that do you find out she's pregnant?
It was about a week after she had moved into her apartment.
A week?
I know that doesn't sound right.
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
It definitely doesn't sound like it was completely over.
We meet Rachel, who looks determined to prove Anthony wrong. She claims that they were in an on-again, off-again relationship, and every argument ends with Anthony denying Zoe. But Rachel is confident that Anthony is Zoe's dad. But surprise, surprise, Anthony isn't buying it.
It's a cheating past, and that is why you are convinced you aren't Zoe's father. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
So, Ms. Polson, what is the current nature of your relationship with the defendant?
We've been on again, off again, Your Honor.
Oh boy, Anthony is not convinced at all. He believes Rachel has a history of cheating, and that's why he questions Zoe's paternity. Talk about trust issues! But Rachel stands her ground and insists that there's no doubt in her mind. This is going to be a tough one.
We had a relationship and we went our separate ways, and I've gotten long-term relationships, and my last long-term relationship, we were having hard times towards the end of it. It was about 9 years, and he hit me up on Facebook, Mr. Callender did, and we just started talking, rekindling our love again, and we started seeing each other again.
Did you know she was in another relationship when you pursued her?
I did.
Rachel comes prepared with some serious evidence. She starts by pointing out the similarities between Zoe and Anthony. From their attitude to their tanned skin, Rachel believes it's undeniable.
So she finally gets out from this relationship with the ex, and a week later, she says to you, I'm pregnant. What are you thinking when she says that, Mr. Callender?
I'm not at the residence with them while she's staying there, so I have no idea what they're doing. I can only go based on what she's telling me. What she's telling me, she's staying in a different room, but I'm not there. How do I know they're not in the same bedroom?
Anthony's face says it all. He's not convinced by Rachel's evidence. He thinks the similarities could just be a coincidence. Anthony takes the stand and drops a bombshell. He reveals that Rachel's ex-boyfriend called her and asked if there's a chance Zoe could be his. Oh, the drama just keeps piling up, but Rachel denies any wrongdoing. This case is getting messier by the minute.
And a birth certificate?
They wouldn't allow me to.
And so then your doubts started spinning.
She was in contact with her ex. He made the question, could it be mine?
Miss Allen, what relationship are you to Mr. Callender?
I'm his mother. This relationship started with a hot mess, squabbling back and forth. I don't want Zoe to hear This may not be my child.
Rachel fights back, claiming that she was only sexually active with Anthony and that her ex is just trying to stir up trouble. She's not holding back, folks, but is she telling the truth? Because based on their two vastly different stories, someone is lying.
When Zoe was born, were you there, Mr. Calendar?
Yes, Your Honor.
You participated?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showed up for the birth?
That and mostly every doctor visit.
Every doctor's visit. So even though you were doubtful, you still participated?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anthony really wants Zoe to be his daughter, but he's still skeptical. And who can blame him? The evidence is stacking up against Rachel, but she's not backing down.
Started seeing each other, so
why would he ask that then?
that's another one of the reasons why I have the doubt.
But if you do the math, we were in North Carolina in December, and she was born in September.
Oh, shouldn't he be able to do the math too?
But Miss Polson, I mean, when another man calls you on your phone to just say, well, let me just ask you this, could she be mine?
Anthony's mom, Karen, takes the stand and she's emotional. She wants Anthony to be Zoe's father, and her love for the baby is evident. It's moments like these that remind us how high the stakes are in these cases. It's not just about DNA, it's about family.
Oh, really?
Yes, he did.
But you declined?
No, of course I declined. I had been over that relationship for a very long time, and I had only been sexually active with Mr. Calendar, and he knows that.
I think if he knew that, he wouldn't be here.
It's time for the moment we've all been waiting for, the DNA test results. Will Anthony finally get the answers he's been searching for? Let's find out.
Mr. Calendar, you are the father. And I'm so happy I could give you the result all of you so desperately wanted.
Meet Mr. Thomas, who claims he's been petitioning the court system for a DNA test for over a year now. He received a shocking letter from child support, informing him that he'll be paying support for a child he believes may not be his. Yikes! Talk about a bombshell. But hold on tight, because this case is about to take some unexpected turns.
There's cause to grant you a DNA test.
She was still sleeping with this man after Hannah was born. Your Honor, matter of fact,
Is that true, Miss Zachary?
Yes, I was.
Yes,
I was. We wasn't supposed to get back together, so I was doing me. What's wrong with that?
I've been okay with saying maybe she's mine, maybe she's not, but maybe she's mine.
Now, let's meet Ms. Zachary, who confidently asserts that Mr. Thomas is the father of her daughter, Hannah. She's determined to bring her family back together and believes it's time for Mr. Thomas to step up to the plate. But wait, there's more. She drops a bombshell of her own, claiming that they were on a break during the time of conception.
Father of your daughter, and it's time he step up to the plate and bring your family back together.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Thomas, when did you learn you were going to be put on child support?
2 weeks ago, Your Honor. I went to the mailbox thinking I'm getting a check, and unluckily, I end up getting a paper from child support saying that half my wages is going to be taken.
Excuse me, Your Honor. I don't mean to cut him off, but that is a lie, what he's saying.
Mr. Thomas, on the other hand, isn't buying it. He recalls the moment when Ms. Zachary handed him the doctor's papers, showing that she was between 13 and 15 weeks pregnant. This got him thinking, because during their supposed break, she had mentioned being 3 to 5 weeks pregnant. It seems like Mr. Thomas has some serious doubts about the timeline here.
Towards the end of August, beginning of September, she told me she was, I feel pregnant. And we went to buy like maybe 4 or 5 pregnancy tests that day.
Your Honor, I found out that I was pregnant September 18th, to be exact with you. And I went to that doctor's appointment and I came home. I handed him the papers. This is my results at the doctor. This is my proof of pregnancy.
But hold on, folks. It's not just the timeline that's got Mr. Thomas questioning things. He drops a bombshell of his own, revealing that Ms. Zachary had admitted to sleeping with another man during their break. Talk about adding fuel to the fire. This revelation has Mr. Thomas doubting whether he's the biological father of little Hannah. This case just keeps getting more complicated by the minute.
That right there is your doubt, because as you were in that doctor's office and saw the calculation, and it led you back to the time when you were on a break.
I triple checked, Your Honor. I did it in my head. I got the calendar in my phone. I looked at the doctor
Your Honor,
reads.
we was on
I'm
a
like,
break.
hold on, wait a minute. Let me triple check.
We were on a break.
And it led you back to the time when you were on the break.
And it led me back to exact. I'm like, no, Lord, you can't be telling me this is exact time.
Now, let's fast forward to the day of Hannah's birth. Mr. Thomas was present at the hospital and even signed the birth certificate, believing that he was the father. But little did he know that doubt would soon creep into his mind, causing him to question everything.
Any part of any part of anything, I would sign a birth certificate and Hannah would never know a thing. Nobody would never know a thing. This would be the biggest family secret that we ever had. And I had no problem with that. And I had no problem with that because I'm not going to let just someone come in and destroy my family like that, you know? It just don't.
You destroyed your family.
It just don't
Your
leave
Honor,
that
he
easy.
destroyed his family. He destroyed his family from the beginning. You had doubts, and that's why you're here. Because you kept on saying you didn't know if she was yours. And I was honest.
Enter Mr. Thomas's uncle, Pierre Hill, who drops a bombshell of his own. He reveals that Ms. Zachary had shown him pictures of another man, whom she believed to be Hannah's biological father. Wait, what?
I believe there is a reasonable cause to order a DNA test. Jerome, please escort them out.
Hannah is a twin. It was Hannah and Heather. One of our twins, Hannah was the smaller one. Heather was the bigger one. She ended up passing away a month after she was born.
And if that wasn't enough, Mr. Thomas stumbles upon a text message on Ms. Zachary's phone with the contact name Hannah's dad. But get this, folks, the number doesn't match Mr. Thomas's number. Cue the gasps. Could this be the smoking gun that proves Mr. Thomas is not Hannah's biological father?
That's like, she's going through like women do. I understand that. I didn't grieve that type of way, you know? She was looking at me like I didn't have any type of sympathy about what was going on, period.
You're saying he barely even grieved the loss. Do you believe that because he doubted the children?
Like he doubted them from the minute that I told him I was pregnant. Like he's sitting here like I wasn't honest with him.
With all this drama and doubt swirling around, it's time for the moment we've all been waiting for. The DNA test results are in. Will Mr. Thomas be proven to be Hannah's father, or will this roller coaster ride take another unexpected turn? Hold on to your seats, folks, because this is about to get real.
Mr. Thomas, you are her father. Your daughter is the most important thing.
All right, let's set the scene. We have Mr. Pierce, who is questioning the paternity of his 1-year-old son, Julian. He claims that his ex-fiancée, Ms. Covell, deceived him into thinking he was the father, only to confess 6 months later that she had cheated. Talk about a bombshell.
I'm not the girl that he really now believes that I am.
I don't think we can save the relationship.
The stakes are very high.
Every time I look at him, it's a reminder.
I'm sorry. I've said I'm sorry a million times.
You're also requesting a lie detector test.
Go ahead and take the lie detector test.
I want to be able to look at him and see me, not see a question mark.
Now, Ms. Covell admits to cheating, but she still insists that Mr. Pierce is the father. She's here today to prove it once and for all. Let me tell you, folks, the tension in that courtroom is palpable. You could cut it with a knife.
Suing for fraudulent misrepresentation, am I correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
Ms. Covell, you admit that you cheated around the window of conception, but you still say you have no doubt Mr. Pierce is your child's father.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so Ms. Covell, how do you feel about being dragged into court today?
I'm a little upset. I want to prove that he's the father. I want to show him that I have been telling the truth. I know I made a mistake, but I've been paying for it every single day since I've told him.
All right, let's hear from Mr. Pierce first. He's feeling betrayed, hurt, and he's questioning everything. Can you blame him? Finding out on your birthday that your fiancé cheated? That's a low blow, folks. A real low blow.
Destroy your family. You've called off your engagement.
Correct. When I found out, I just had to call it off. I mean, there's no sense in really trying to go for a marriage because it's not true.
How do you feel when you hear Mr. Pierce say these things, Ms. Covell?
It really hurts me. I know I made a mistake at one time. We were both going through an emotional roller coaster at that time period. I made a mistake one time. I understand that my son looks nothing like him.
And then we have Ms. Covell, who's remorseful and wants to prove that Mr. Pierce is indeed Julian's father. She's been carrying the guilt of her mistake every single day. Can she convince him that she's telling the truth?
No, let's get it out the air right now. I'm not gonna get mad because we're so in a good place right now. It was like, here's your free pass. She told me, that she had cheated on me back. I can't remember the exact month that she cheated on me, and I lost it. I started crying. I was very upset, and I asked her, I was like, so was it around the same time? Is it possibly his?
Oh, the emotions are running high in that courtroom. Mr. Pierce is hurt, he's angry, and he's demanding answers. Can you blame him? He's been through this before, and he's not about to let history repeat itself. Can you blame him?
This one thing led to another.
How do we know that's the only time, though? I want a lie detector test.
And the results will be revealed shortly.
That looks completely like a white baby.
So this marriage ultimately is in jeopardy.
Life is turned upside down completely.
I have the lie detector results and the paternity results. In the case of Pierce versus Covell, pertaining to 1-year-old Julian.
Now, let's talk about Julian. This adorable 1-year-old baby boy is caught in the middle of all this drama. It breaks your heart to see how this situation is affecting him. He's innocent, folks. Completely innocent.
In addition to the DNA test you request today, you're also requesting a lie detector test.
Correct, Your Honor.
We have, in fact, administered that test, and the results will be revealed shortly. You have this beautiful baby. When you look at this child, what are you thinking?
Every time I look at him, it kills me.
All right, let's dive into the evidence. Mr. Pierce has brought some baby pictures to compare himself as a baby to Julian. He's desperate to see some resemblance, some connection. Can you blame him? He wants to see himself in his son's eyes.
Pierce. Mr. Pierce, you...
I thought you would be the one girl that wouldn't do that to me. But when it comes to another person's life...
Go ahead and take the lie detector test. It was only a one-time thing.
I want to show you a couple pictures here, Your Honor, that I brought for evidence.
I'd like to see that. Jerome, will you hand it to me,
First
please?
off, this is my baby picture. Then this is Julian's baby picture.
Okay.
And I've cropped them here together.
Wow, these pictures side by side are something else. You can see the desperation in Mr. Pierce's eyes. He wants so badly for Julian to be his son. You can feel the weight of his doubts, his fears. It's heartbreaking, folks.
You're right, though. He doesn't look like you. He looks identical to me. And
I understand that, and I don't want to take it out on him, but
So,
with
Mr.
it not being
Pierce,
100, how can I not? Every
this
time
is
I
a
look at
picture
him.
of...
That was me at about 6 months old.
All right, so we're looking at you at about 6 months.
Correct.
And then now...
You can see the complexion, the dark hair, I mean...
But wait, there's more. Ms. Covell also took a lie detector test. Can you believe it? The drama just keeps coming. Will the results reveal any more secrets? Will they bring some clarity to this tangled web of emotions?
Every time I look at him, I don't see me.
So now, what's your relationship been like since all of this has transpired?
It's not there. It's just been going downhill ever since this has happened. We bicker and fight all the time, and just now it's
And so
just
this
went all
marriage
down.
ultimately is in jeopardy because of this situation.
Correct.
All right, folks, the moment we've all been waiting for. The DNA test results are in. Will Mr. Pierce finally get the answers he's been searching for? Will Julian be his son? The suspense is suffocating, so let's find out.
Mr. Pierce, you are Julian's father.
Yes!
Great news, right?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Oh, wow, I haven't seen you smile like this, Mr. Milner.
It feel good, feel great.
How does it feel to finally get the truth, Miss Heath?
It feels good.
Mr. Milner and Ms. Heath's story is a whirlwind of emotions and uncertainties. Mr. Milner claims that Ms. Heath deceived him into believing that he fathered her 3-month-old son, Zachario Milner Jr. But hold on tight because Ms. Heath admits there was another man involved. She also argues that since Mr. Milner signed the birth certificate, there's no need for a paternity test. Talk about a complicated situation.
Mr. Milner, you claim the defendant, Ms. Heath, deceived you into believing that you fathered her 3-month-old son, Zachario Milner Jr.
Yes,
you
Your
say you love her son and would be devastated to find out that you've been loving another man's child, which is why you have petitioned the court to order a paternity test. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Milner tells us that he feels deceived because he was upfront about wanting a family. He shared his dream of being a family man, and he thought Ms. Heath saw him as an easy target. As soon as he expressed his desires, he felt she was ready to take advantage of him. But Ms. Heath denies these accusations and insists she genuinely wanted a family too.
I feel like she been deceiving me because when I first met her, I told her straight up what I want. And that is, I want a family. I want to be a family man. I'm done reading in the streets. I'm really tired of that. And I feel like at the time, as soon as I said that, the light came up above her head like, bing! I got me a duck, you heard me? I'm finna go ahead and pluck this man for whatever I can. And that's why I'm here. I really need this test.
The story of how they met is quite interesting. Mr. Milner was new to Texas, having just moved from Louisiana, and met Ms. Heath through mutual friends. They quickly formed a bond, and within a few days, they decided to be in a committed relationship. Everything seemed perfect until Ms. Heath announced she was pregnant just 2 weeks into their relationship.
So I think I understood that testimony.
That is true.
So you You met, you exchanged numbers.
Yes, ma'am.
And, I get to talking to him. I get to feeling him out a little more. And I felt like he was intelligent, like he wanted something out of life. I had seen something in him that I thought, that we could make something out of this.
Ms. Heath explains that she felt the pregnancy almost immediately, as she did with her other children. However, Mr. Milner started having doubts because of how quickly it all happened. To make matters worse, his family members fueled his suspicions. He couldn't believe that she was already pregnant just 2 weeks after they met.
What happens? You find out you're pregnant.
Okay, well, I was intimate with Mr. Milner. I felt, normally with all my kids, I felt it almost immediately when I was pregnant, and I kind of had these bodily feelings. Me and Mr. Milner were joking about, what if you are, what if you're not? And I'm just like, I don't want to be, I got 3 kids, I don't need another one, this was not.
When the condom broke during their first intimate encounter, Mr. Milner knew there was a chance he could be the father, but his doubts persisted, especially after Ms. Heath broke down and confessed that she wasn't sure about the baby's paternity. Ms. Heath later admitted that sometimes she did not use condoms with the other man.
You're proud of that, huh?
No, ma'am. I'm sorry about that.
So, Mr. Milner, I want to understand this. Why do you have doubt?
After everything done happened, we got us an apartment. She sitting there, we watching TV, her head is in my lap. Me and her is talking real well. Next thing I know, she just bust out the tears. Just go straight to crying. I don't know if the baby yours or not.
That is not.
Ms. Heath's past relationships added more confusion. She admitted there was another man before Mr. Milner, but she insists she was always honest with him. Mr. Milner, on the other hand, kept calculating the dates and the timelines just did not add up. He needed the paternity test to find peace of mind.
I thought you all were in a committed relationship.
It happened prior to Mr. Milner. That's why I don't understand it. I understand his doubt, but I don't understand the fuel to his fire is like I cheated on him. I did not.
Oh, so you're saying it could be to another guy before him?
But prior to him. So I went ahead and told him because I've never lied to Mr. Milner.
Despite the mess, Mr. Milner signed the birth certificate because he desperately wanted a family and hoped the baby was his. The court decided there was enough evidence to warrant a DNA test. Mr. Milner stated that if the baby wasn't his, he would not stay in the relationship.
And the closest man to it is me? No, the closest man to it is
okay, but I use condoms.
That means he did his thing.
I used condoms prior to Mr. Milner. I even contacted that gentleman.
You even told me that condom broke. You told me that condom broke. Did you not tell me that the condom broke on you?
I never said the condom broke. When did I say that? No, I did not.
The court then heard a statement from an employee who confirmed that Ms. Heath had admitted to inconsistencies regarding condom use. This further complicated the situation. Ms. Heath was also involved with a married man, which added more drama to the case. She didn't want to believe that the married man could be the father either.
Did you ever tell the other man that he could be the biological father?
No, man. When I called him, I strictly asked him about the condom. Period, point blank. He was like, no, you made sure that I used condoms. He was like, so I should. He was like, we stopped messing around before this, all of this transpired. And he said that nothing happened with the condom.
Finally, the moment of truth arrived. The DNA results were prepared, but before revealing them, Judge Lake asked if Mr. Milner was ready for the outcome. The tension was palpable as everyone awaited the results. Mr. Milner expressed his hopes and fears, making it clear how much he cared for Zacario Jr. The episode ends with the anticipation of the life-changing results.
Mr. Milner, you are the father. Oh, wow. I haven't seen you smile like this, Mr. Milner.
It feels good. It feels great.
It feels good. It's closure. I can live my life peacefully, and we can be happy how we were.
Mr. Fisher and Ms. Doyle's story is a roller coaster of emotions and heartbreak. Mr. Fisher claims he made the biggest mistake of his life by signing the birth certificate for 2-month-old Sophia. But hold on tight, because Ms. Doyle admits she cheated on Mr. Fisher and now prays that he is Sophia's father. Talk about a tense situation.
Mr. Fisher, you claim you made the biggest mistake of your life by signing the birth certificate for 2-month-old Sophia. You say your fiance dropped a bomb on you just 1 month ago and admitted you may not be her father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Fisher tells us that Ms. Doyle dropped a bomb on him, admitting that she cheated and that Sophia might not be his. He loves both Ms. Doyle and Sophia dearly, but the revelation shattered his world. He describes the first month of Sophia's life as blissful, only to have his joy ripped apart by doubt and betrayal.
I love Brittany, and I love Sophia to death. They're my world, but she lied to me. She kept the truth from me, and it kills me. I hope I am Sophia's father. I love her to death. That's my baby.
So you say you love her?
Yes, Your Honor.
Can you tell me what you feel?
Sorrow, pain, everything. It all hurts bad.
Mr. Fisher recalls how he fell in love with Ms. Doyle, describing their relationship as perfect until the cheating incident. Ms. Doyle, on a vacation, received a text claiming Mr. Fisher was unfaithful. Distraught, she sought comfort from a stranger, leading to a one-night stand. This act of revenge was based on a falsehood, and now both face the consequences.
Well, when me and one of her family members met, we became best friends, like we was close like this. He took me around her, and I just fell for her. And ever since then, I've loved her. She's beautiful. Her eyes, amazing. Her body, she's gorgeous. And she treats me like a man wanted to be treated, all the way up until this happened.
Ms. Doyle admits that the guilt of her actions has been eating at her. She describes how Mr. Fisher proposed to her, unaware of her infidelity. She accepted his proposal despite knowing the baby might not be his. The emotional weight of her secret made the joyous moment bittersweet, and now she hopes the truth will not destroy their bond.
What happens in your relationship?
I told her, I went to work that day, and I was thinking about proposing to her because I love her. She's my world. And I got home that day, I had the ring in my pocket. I told her how I felt. I said, I love you, you're my world, you're everything I've ever wanted. I want to take this family to a whole nother level. Will you marry me?
When Sophia was born, Mr. Fisher was overjoyed. He supported Miss Doyle through the birth and signed the birth certificate, believing Sophia was his. The first month was filled with love and happiness until Ms. Doyle's guilt led her to confess. Mr. Fisher's world crumbled as he learned of the betrayal, but he remained committed to caring for Sophia.
I held her hand, I felt like I was the dad, which at the time, I was pretty sure I was. But I held her, I kept telling her, push, push, push. I want to see my baby. And afterwards, right there, I held her. I signed the birth certificate and everything, because I thought it was my baby. We stayed there for 3 days.
Mr. Fisher describes how his life was uplifted by Sophia's birth, only to be brought back down by the doubt of paternity. Ms. Doyle, filled with regret, acknowledges her mistake and wishes she could take it back.
We just had fun all day that day, just holding Sophia, spending time with her, just quality time. And she started looking at Sophia, started crying, kept crying, and she told me she cheated on me. I tell her I love her, she's my world, so is Sophia, but I shouldn't have to stay and take care of some other man's baby.
The court reviews the conception dates, aligning uncomfortably with the time of her affair, adding to Mr. Fisher's distress. He barely looks at the calendar, and it is clear. This is one question he would rather not know the truth about. It's as if he doesn't even want to acknowledge it in any way possible. It's heart-wrenching.
Or a child born on January 15th.
Yes, Your Honor.
And those dates are pretty much right in the window of time you were on vacation in Florida and had sex with the other guy.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Fisher, I can see you can barely look at the calendar. You just don't want to even acknowledge it. It's almost like if you look at it, it might be true.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Doyle's confession weighs heavily on Mr. Fisher as he prepares for the DNA test results. He expresses his unconditional love for Sophia, regardless of the outcome. The emotional tension is palpable as they await the truth. The court is filled with sympathy for Mr. Fisher's predicament, showcasing his remarkable strength and commitment.
Before I go to the results, Ms. Doyle, is there anything you'd like to say to Mr. Fisher?
I'm sorry that it happened, and if she's yours, then I hope that...
Let me tell you this. You ain't got to be guilty about it no more. I know about it, and I know you're sorry. Just don't hold it on me no more. That's my baby, no matter what.
All right, folks, it's time for the moment of truth. The DNA results are in, and we're about to find out if Mr. Fisher is the father of baby Sophia. Emotions are running high, and the stakes couldn't be higher for baby Sophia and this couple. Stay tuned for the reveal that will determine the future of their family.
Mr. Fisher, you
are the father.
Thank you, God.
You can stand there with him if you'd like. How does it feel, Mr. Fisher, to know that that is your beautiful little baby girl?
Well, I think we're going to get married when we get back home.
Mr. Buchanan and Ms. Stembridge have a wild ride ahead of them. Mr. Buchanan claims that this is the third time a woman has accused him of fathering her child. The first 2 times, DNA testing proved he was not the father. But hold on tight, because now he doubts his girlfriend Ms. Stembridge's 6-month-old daughter is his. Talk about a roller coaster. Buchanan tells us he believes Ms. Stembridge has been unfaithful, particularly with his former best friend and roommate, Eric, while Mr. Buchanan was incarcerated. This revelation added fuel to Mr. Buchanan's doubt. The situation gets more complicated when Mr. Buchanan describes finding evidence of Ms. Stembridge and Eric drinking together again. He explains that their first intimate encounter involved drinking lemon drops, and he suspects the same scenario occurred between Ms. Stembridge and Eric. The lemon drops became a symbol of his distrust.
I was cool with that. I threw that out the window, all right? Cool. You had a few beers, I can understand. Your nerves are bad. That's cool. I understand that, all right? But then, check this out, all right?
Check it out. I'm checking.
She kind of picked me up, all right? We get home, or we on the way home, and I'm looking at them. They both nervous.
Things heat up as Mr. Buchanan recounts a phone call from his ex, claiming that Ms. Stembridge was seen in compromising positions with Eric. To support his claims, Mr. Buchanan brings in Ms. McNeil, a witness who allegedly saw Ms. Stembridge in Eric's bed. Ms. McNeil's testimony further intensifies the drama. Despite the accusations and doubts, Mr. Buchanan admits he loves Ms. Stembridge's daughter and has been taking care of her. Stembridge remains adamant that Mr. Buchanan is the father and emphasizes his excellent parenting. She acknowledges his doubts, but can strengthen their relationship. The tension is palpable as both parties await the crucial results. And to set clear boundaries in his relationships. She highlights the importance of trust and communication, pointing out that misunderstandings and jealousy can tear apart families. Her advice aims to help them navigate their complex situation. Time for the moment of truth. The DNA results are in, and we're about to find out if Mr. Buchanan is the father of Ms. Stembridge's 6-month-old daughter. Emotions are running high, and the stakes couldn't be higher for this couple. Stay tuned for the reveal that will determine the future of their family.
Mr. Buchanan, you...
Thomas and Ms. Zachary are in for quite a showdown. Mr. Thomas has been fighting for a DNA test for over a year for 15-month-old Hannah, claiming he was tricked into signing the birth certificate under false pretenses. Hold on tight, because this one's a whirlwind.
Mr. Thomas, you claim you've been petitioning the court system for a DNA test for 15-month-old Hannah Thomas for more than a year now. You will be paying support because you signed the birth certificate, but claim it was under false pretenses. Now, the court will decide whether there's reasonable cause to grant you a DNA test today.
Mr. Thomas explains that he found out about the child support obligations only 2 weeks ago. He was expecting a check, but instead got a notice that his wages would be garnished. Meanwhile, Ms. Zachary insists that Mr. Thomas knew all along because she had to collaborate with child support to receive assistance.
2 weeks ago, Your Honor, I went to the mailbox thinking I'm getting a check, and unluckily, I end up getting a paper from child support saying that half my wages is going to be taken.
Excuse me, Your Honor. I don't mean to cut him off, but that is a lie, what he's saying. He knew that he was going to pay child support because I received a medical card. I also received cash assistance, and I have...
The timeline gets even murkier as Mr. Thomas recounts their brief separation and reconciliation. He mentions that after getting back together in August, Ms. Zachary told him she was pregnant. He recalls buying multiple pregnancy tests and initially believing the baby was his.
August, we got back together, towards the end of August, beginning of September, she told me she was, I feel pregnant. And we went to buy like maybe 4 or 5 pregnancy tests that day.
Your Honor, I found out that I was pregnant September 18th, to be exact with you. And I went to that doctor's appointment and I came home. I handed him the papers. This is my results at the doctor. This is my proof of pregnancy.
Ms. Zachary maintains that she informed Mr. Thomas of her pregnancy as soon as she found out. She even presented him with the doctor's paperwork. However, Mr. Thomas claims he never saw any paperwork and started doubting the timeline when he noticed how quickly Ms. Zachary was showing.
I was carrying twins. That's why I was getting big so fast. It was my first time ever having twin children, and I didn't know at the time that I was even carrying twins.
When we went to the doctor, maybe probably was about 3 or 4 weeks later, and the doctor was telling her, yeah, you need to stop smoking cigarettes, you know, and he was telling me, like, look, you need to be honest about smoking cigarettes. Here's her paperwork.
The plot thickens as Mr. Thomas describes attending a doctor's appointment with Ms. Zachary. He noticed that the pregnancy timeline didn't add up, leading to more doubts. Ms. Zachary argues that she was carrying twins, which explains her rapid growth, but Mr. Thomas remains skeptical.
She was supposed to be around 9 weeks at the time.
This is going through your head.
This is going through my head. So, and it's just everything that's been building up. It just was building up and building up, like, okay, so she couldn't have been 3 to 5 weeks when she first told me, you know, so that means she deliberately lied to me about the
Your
situation.
Honor, I did not lie about how many weeks I was.
Yes,
I
you
did not lie about anything.
The real kicker comes when Mr. Thomas reveals that Ms. Zachary admitted to having unprotected sex with another man during their break. Ms. Zachary defends herself by saying they were on a break, and she was honest about her actions. This revelation is the core of Mr. Thomas's doubts about Hannah's paternity.
She basically told me that she was having unprotected sex with
That
the
was
guy.
in July, beginning of July. That was the beginning of July.
With a guy that she
I was with a kid
with a guy that she
July.
has previous been with before.
So that right there is your doubt, because as you were in that doctor's office and saw the calculation, and it led you back to the time when you were on a break.
I triple checked, I did it in my head.
Despite the rocky timeline, Mr. Thomas stood by Ms. Zachary during her pregnancy and even signed the birth certificate. He shares a heartbreaking story of the twins' birth, where one twin, Heather, sadly passed away. This loss adds another layer of emotion to their already complicated situation.
And then you signed the birth certificate when you were at the hospital, am I correct?
Yes, I did.
Tell me about that day.
She had her sister come get the children. I came up to the hospital. I was with her the whole night, all until she had the baby. I was there. It was no problem. The agreement this was the agreement from the beginning. If the guy that I believe is Hannah's dad, if he didn't have any part of anything.
The courtroom drama escalates as Mr. Thomas's uncle, Mr. Hill, testifies that he doesn't believe Hannah is Mr. Thomas's child, based on her appearance and a conversation he had with Ms. Zachary. The tension is palpable as more details emerge about the alleged affair and ongoing doubts.
Mr. Hill, you are Mr. Thomas's uncle.
Yes.
What do you know about this situation?
You know what, Your Honor, this whole situation is just crazy, like from the fighting to the arguing and stuff like that. I don't think that he is the father of Hannah.
You don't?
And the reason why is because she just don't look like him.
All right, folks, it's time for the moment of truth. The DNA results are in, and we're about to find out if Mr. Thomas is the father of 15-month-old Hannah. Emotions are running high. Stay tuned for the reveal that will determine the future of their family.
Mr. Thomas, you are her father.
Oh my God.
Great news, right? I'm so happy for the both of you. Your daughter is the most important thing. Oh, wow. I haven't seen you smile like this, Mr. Milner.
Feel good, feel great.
You got to get it together.
We strong, we gonna make it.
What would you do if you found out that the woman you love has been lying to you for a long-ass time? Mr. Milner Sr. found himself in court trying to fight his way out of such a messy situation and was hoping the DNA results would clear his mind of his doubts. Let's see how they got themselves here in the first place.
Mr. Milner, you claim the defendant, Ms. Heath, deceived you into believing that you fathered her 3-month-old son, Zachariah Milner Jr.
I feel like she been deceiving me because when I first met her, I told her straight up what I want. And that is, I want a family. I want to be a family man. I'm done reading the streets. I'm really tired of that. And I feel like at the time, as soon as I said that, the light came up above her head like, bing, I got me a duck.
As you can see, all Mr. Milner Sr. wanted was a family with the defendant. And he made that clear before they kicked off their romantic journey as a couple. But we need to ask the big questions, though. How did their relationship start? Mr. Milner Sr. had quite a story to tell regarding how they met.
I seen wait, let me get this little thing. I just moved to Texas, you hear me? I'm from Louisiana. And then when I seen her, and I needed something, you know what I'm saying? I needed to be a female to talk to and get to know.
Well, it wasn't just that easy, though.
Stop
And
it.
so
I'm
I
just
think
saying,
I understood that testimony.
That is true.
Okay, you heard the defendant. Their love story was a me and you against the world kind of thing. But that soon went up in flames when Ms. Heath found out she was pregnant and started to feel differently about wanting a family.
What if you're not? And I'm just like, I don't want to be. You know, I got 3 kids. I don't need another one. You know, this was not a part of the plan.
Mr. Milner, I want to hear from you. When you found out she was pregnant, what was your response?
I mean, I was happy. I was excited.
He didn't
and then I started having doubt. I'm like, dang, hold up.
He didn't have a response, Your Honor.
Talk about 2 drama queens. These 2 fit the description without breaking a sweat. Now, Mr. Milner Sr. felt his girlfriend got pregnant sooner than he expected her to, and that made him raise his eyebrows at the whole situation. I mean, was she really pregnant?
She's sitting there, we watching TV, her head is in my lap. Me and her is talking real well. Next thing I know, she just bust out the tears. I mean, just go straight to crying. I don't know if the baby yours or not. Ooh.
That is not true.
So I'm like...
That's not true, Your Honor. He doesn't have it correct. I'm sorry.
Okay, how do you see it?
How I don't have it correct?
I kept trying to make sure with my doctor that I had the conception dates right.
If you were looking for a plot twist in their love story, well, you've definitely found it. Ms. Heath claimed she never cheated on Mr. Milner Sr., but at the same time, was not sure who the father of her child was. That just doesn't make any sense, and it definitely wasn't helping with Mr. Milner Sr.'s doubts.
It kept working with me, it kept messing with me, especially when I'm at work. I'm over here adding up. Man, that's only 8 months. It's just not, the time wasn't adding up, and it be, you know, it vexes me. It's really getting on my nerves.
So why did you sign the birth certificate?
Because I want, like I said that when I first met, I want a family. And I know when we was doing the giggity, you know, the condom broke. So it could be mine. I don't know. Well, I'm just, at the time, I love her.
Okay, so the next chronicles of Mr. Milner Sr. started. Ms. Health tries to convince the judge with the calendar of the conception date, hoping that Mr. Milner Sr. will see some truth in what she's been saying. Does he believe any of that? Oh, trust me, he isn't moved one bit.
So you telling me that July the 30th is when the baby's supposed to, the conception time or whatever, and the closest man to it is me? No, the closest man to it
okay,
is
but I use condoms.
That mean he did his thing.
I used condoms prior to Mr. Milner. I even contacted that gentleman.
You even told me that the condom broke. You told me that the condom broke.
Sure.
Did you not tell me that the condom broke on your
I never said the condom.
There's a war going down there, and things aren't looking pretty at all. But Ms. Heath is about to have the roof drop on her head. Apparently, every single thing she said in the courtroom was totally different from the story she explained in her statement just before the court hearing.
She told me that sometimes they use condoms and sometimes they did not.
Your Honor, I have a situation to where I cannot just not use condoms. So I had condoms on the whole time.
Ms. Mebane, when you took that statement, you asked her simply, did she use condoms the entire time?
Correct.
She said sometimes and sometimes not.
Correct. She said sometimes we did and sometimes we did not.
Oh no, it was just compulsive lying. Now she could not even blame the daddy for his doubts. But this was not over yet. Being caught red-handed with the lies, Ms. Heath decided to open up about some other truths. And this is how the revelations came out.
I won't say anything to you. The other gentleman is married, ma'am. He's married, and I didn't know.
Married?
Yeah, he's married. Your Honor, while I was messing with this gentleman, I was not aware that he was married until my relative came to me after I had already started a relationship because we never treated it as such. She said, well, you know he's still messing with his wife.
Sleeping with a married man while in a relationship? Boy, Ms. Health sure has some nerve. Anyways, Judge Lake heard enough of their testimony, so she determined that DNA was vehement in this paternity conflict. So let's get those results and see if they ended up on good terms or not.
Mr. Milner, you are the father. Oh, wow, I haven't seen you smile like this, Mr. Milner.
It feel good, feel great.
How does it feel to finally get the truth, Ms. Heath?
It feels good. It's closure. I can live my life peacefully and we can be happy how we were.
Is there really any justification for cheating? I mean, can amends really be made after any partner cheats? Well, we are about to find out. Ms. Doyle rolled up to the courtroom in hopes of trying to save the love she had for her fiancé. Let's hear what brought her into this mess.
Ms. Doyle, you admit to making the biggest mistake of your life by cheating on Mr. Fisher, but stand in court hoping and praying he is Sophia's father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor. I think that he is the father. I know 100% I mean, he was there through the whole pregnancy, and he does everything for me. He works, he supports our family, he runs my baths, he cooks my food.
Well, you can't ignore the fact that Ms. Doyle loves her fiancé beyond words can explain. Mr. Fisher then goes on to tell the courtroom how he fell in love with Ms. Doyle. And trust me, it was such a beautiful experience. You might even give love a chance after hearing it.
He took me around her, and I just fell for her. Ever since then, I've loved her. She's beautiful. Her eyes, amazing. Her body, she's gorgeous. And she treats me like a man wanted to be treated, all the way up until this happened.
And so you decide to settle down,
Yes.
and you had this beautiful relationship. It felt perfect to you.
Everything I've ever wanted.
I said so, didn't I? You might give love a chance after hearing his story. Well, it was confession time for Ms. Doyle, and she was asked by the judge to explain how she ruined such a beautiful relationship. Here's the explanation she gave.
One of his family members, I was on vacation with one of his family members in Florida, and another one of his family members that he was with at the time had texted me, and he said, "Trey's cheating on you," which we call him Trey, but his name is John. So me, I was hurt. And so I went to be by myself at the pool area where I was at the time, and a guy walked up to me, and he's like, "Well, you look like you need somebody to talk to. Do you want to go to my camper and talk?"
Hold on. She cheated based on a rumor she heard from a family member? On my God, that's just going to rip her fiancé's heart into a million pieces. The judge then asks Mr. Fisher to explain what happened when she got pregnant and how he found out she had slept with another man.
We purchased the pregnancy tests, went back to the house. She took them. One had a faint line, and then one had both lines. And I was happy. That was the best day of my life.
Whenever I took the pregnancy test, I knew that I had cheated on him. So whenever I seen the lines, I was kind of upset. I was like, well, this isn't happening, you know? Because I knew, but he didn't. He didn't know that I had cheated on him. And I just couldn't find it in myself to tell him because he was so excited I didn't want to hurt him.
Damn, poor old Mr. Fisher. Nothing in the world could have prepared him for such a heartbreaking moment like this. But the truth bombs aren't done popping out. After he found out about the baby, he asked Ms. Doyle to be his wife, and she said yes, without blinking an eye.
I did. In my head, I was like, well, it wouldn't be right to marry him if the baby isn't his. But I was thinking, okay, well, he doesn't know. And that was wrong of me, myself, to do that. But I love him. And if we were going to be a family, that would be a great way to start off. So I said yes. Like, whenever I took this ring, I took it and I meant that, yes, I wanted to be with him for the rest of my life, and I honestly do.
Skip to the window of the conception calendar. Right now, all Ms. Doyle cares about is trying to fix the love and trust she broke by cheating on her fiancé. And whatever that needed, she was ready to do. But the calendar just wasn't helping her situation.
The window of conception would be between April 19th to April 26th for a child born on January 15th.
Yes, Your Honor.
And those dates are pretty much right in the window of time you were on vacation in Florida and had sex with the other guy.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Fisher, I can see you can barely look at the calendar. You just don't want to even acknowledge it.
As you know, one lie has the power to tarnish 1,000 truths. Even with all the doubt in the world, Mr. Fisher wanted nothing more than for the baby he had loved with his heart all this time to be his.
I haven't really thought about that part yet, honestly. That's a beautiful, amazing baby right there. That's my world. She's what keeps me going every day.
Before I go to the results, Ms. Doyle, is there anything you'd like to say to Mr. Fisher?
I'm sorry that it happened, and she's yours, and I hope that...
Let me tell you this. You ain't got to be guilty about it no more. I know about it, and I know you're sorry.
Isn't he just a sweet man? Even though Ms. Doyle's cheating had left her relationship at a vulnerable point, the only way to determine the truth about the baby was to uncover the secret DNA envelope was holding. So, let's get those results.
Mr. Fisher, you are the father. Oh, you can stand there with him if you'd like. That is your beautiful little baby girl.
On some days, your dreams might come true, and on some days, they could just be another nightmare. For Mr. Jones, it was a mixture of both. After trying to be a father for 48 years, his dreams finally came true, but they were immediately shattered when his wife told him she had been unfaithful.
Mr. Jones, you claim that after 48 years of trying to become a father, your dream became a reality. But that initial excitement turned into a nightmare as your wife admitted that she had been unfaithful. You now believe 4-year-old Tamari is not your biological child.
Been upside down. I'm sleeping on the couch. And I never said nothing, but I always had some type of doubt. Ever since I found out she cheated, I always had doubt.
Oh, trust me. Mr. Jones is angry, all right? Seems to me like his house has not had any peace in a long time. But that was just the beginning of their court episode. Every time they got into a heated argument, Mrs. Jones would always tell her husband that he was not the father of her child.
At 48, I had the baby. And it's like my world is turned upside down. Every time we argue, she says she ain't mine.
Oh, she tells you?
Yeah.
Are you telling him, Miss Jones?
All right, I'm gonna be totally honest. Yes, I did tell him, but that was in the heat of the moment. I did, mess up in the past around this time of conceiving. We all are human, we all make mistakes.
Now, isn't that hilarious? She must be living in a fairy tale world to think that another man can't end up being the father of her child. Well, it's story time, and Mr. Jones is asked to tell the courtroom how he found out his wife had cheated on him. Well, here's how he went about the story.
All right, well, I got a homeboy. He seen her leave the apartment and get in the car with other people, and he told me a couple of times about it, but I never believed him. And then I asked her about it, and then she came clean, and she told me.
Wait, I thought at that moment our relationship was over.
And so what would bring you to cheat on your husband? What reason did you have?
Oh, well, this started all because I thought he was cheating on me.
She slept with the other man more than once? Some part of me just feels she doesn't regret her actions one bit. But guess what? There's more juice to the story. Just a week after he found out his wife had cheated on him, he also found out she was pregnant. Talk about having a double nightmare with the same person.
A week later, she was pregnant. And I was with her, and I didn't want to leave her. I really thought maybe it could be mine. But I looked at my age, and it had a little doubt in it, I stuck around.
So, wait, there's a 25-year age difference. You find out your wife is pregnant, and what goes through your mind?
I couldn't believe it. I didn't think I could have a baby at that age. I was 48 years old.
Well, you can't blame Mrs. Jones for laughing because that was actually very hilarious. But Mrs. Jones wasn't going to go down without a fight. She claimed every single thing her husband was saying in the courtroom felt like a new discovery from the internet, and she had never heard of them before. Could that be true?
I didn't know that he even felt this way. He's been there from the start, Your Honor. Okay? He's cut the cord. He signed his name on the birth certificate. None of these feelings came up until obviously right now. So we do have some discoveries up in fraternity court. I am a very educated woman, and I reformed from my past.
Everything sure seems very complicated right now. Mr. Jones believes he can't have kids because of his past and the fact that he has a low sperm count. His wife, on the other hand, admits she made a mistake, but she knows her husband is capable of having children. Here's the answer to both their doubts.
And it looks at key components of health of sperm. And those would be the number of sperm, the shape of the sperm, and the motility, or the sperm's ability to move.
All right.
So in Mr. Jones's case, we did a semen analysis, and basically on a normal semen analysis, you expect to see about 20 million sperm per milliliter, and you expect to see normal shape and sperm that can move.
Looks like Mr. Jones was right after all. He is actually incapable of having any children. At this point, that's just enough reason to further his doubt about the child. If he ends up being the father of the child, it would be one hell of a miracle, trust me. But Mrs. Jones still felt he was the father of her baby.
Don, I don't understand all this. It's hard right here. It's hard for me to believe I don't got a little bit of sperm count. I don't understand.
I mean, I just want to say this. Is it possible, because around the time of conception, his sperm did something to me in one of the nights before conceiving, like weeks before, because I only knew that I was pregnant around 2 months.
Well, Mr. Jones was still not convinced the baby was his. Regardless of all that doubt, he still wanted their daughter to be his. He claimed he had built an inseparable bond with the child, that it was almost like she came into this world to his alone.
She's not mine now, definitely. If my sperm's like that, then maybe it's not mine.
Because you've never had a semen analysis before.
Never. That was the first time I ever had it.
Tell me about your relationship with Tamari.
That's my baby. That's my baby.
And let me tell you something, blood don't change that. You hear me, Tyrone? You are a good father.
And at 52 years of age, she would be your only child.
Yes.
Secrets were being revealed in court, one after another, but nothing was helping them get the closure they needed. So Judge Lake pulled the strings and decided to announce the results. Is this going to be a miracle baby, or has Mrs. Jones just ruined her marriage?
Mr. Jones, you are the father. Yes.
This case was outright palooza, as Mr. Hamilton claimed his debauched spouse had imperiled their marriage with compulsive lies and her unfaithful lifestyle. He claimed that baby mama was busy with another when she conceived the baby. He had lost every ounce of trust he had for his wife.
Mr. Hamilton, you have petitioned the court for a lie detector test on Ms. Lombardi.
Down to the DNA place. She didn't show up. This the
It
third
never
time.
happened.
The
When did that
third
happen?
time.
When did that happen?
The third time she showed up.
That never happened. I hadn't even been to the doctor, so how can I say it's a tumor when I didn't go to the doctor?
Calls me up at 11 o'clock crying hysterically. And I said, honey, what's wrong? She says, I'm not pregnant. I said, what do you mean you're not pregnant? How do you know? She goes, I'm dying of ovarian cancer.
Because
I have every symptom because she went and researched.
Looked up the same thing. This
Absolutely.
was cancer.
Yes, Your Honor. I let her sleep through the night. I didn't sleep a
The 30-year-old vasectomy has brought this marriage to the brink of collapse.
Impossible for you to have a child, and therefore Caleb cannot be yours. You say if the DNA results prove you are not the father, you will leave your wife family.
Yes, Your Honor.
Miss Baker, you say the relationship truly is on the rocks.
Yes, Your Honor.
Explain.
At the time I got pregnant, I was drinking, I was blacking out at night. I wouldn't remember.
The relationship between the Bakers began under these circumstances.
She was married. You have two people who are in a monogamous relationship come together the way that we did. There's always going to cast doubt on the back of your mind. How do I know she wouldn't do this to me? We did it to each other.
In such situations, there is often room for doubt.
There's always been that little nagging.
She did it to him, she'll do it to me. If he did it to her, he'll do it to me. Absolutely. It doesn't seem like that's your only doubt.
Well, just knowing other situations went on her marriage before she was with me.
Conversely, Mrs. Baker maintained that there was no basis for any skepticism.
Have you cheated on him?
No, I have not cheated on Mr. Baker, Your Honor. No recollection of anything ever happening to me while I was drinking. Thing in the back of my mind just keeps going. Something happened to me and I just don't remember.
You don't recall because of the drinking.
Correct, Your Honor.
What could have transpired?
Correct.
The judge then addressed the medically implausible aspect of the case.
Back in 1991, I had a vasectomy. Once the procedure hits the 20-year mark, they literally put it into the realm of impossibility. Is it even possible for me to even conceive a child?
Upon the revelation of the pregnancy, Mr. Baker arrived at a troubling conclusion.
Found this out, Mr. Baker, what was your first thought?
I Googled what can cause a false positive. I never slept that night because the only thing that's going through my mind is the obvious. Well, I know she's not pregnant.
You thought for a minute that this was cancer.
Yes, Your Honor. I let her sleep through the night. I didn't sleep a wink.
Clearly, the couple faced significant challenges.
And I said, honey, what's wrong? She says, I'm not pregnant. I said, what do you mean you're not pregnant? How do you know? She goes, I'm dying of ovarian cancer.
Because
I have every symptom because she went and researched.
Looked up the same thing.
Yes.
Yes, I looked up the same thing the following day.
This situation undoubtedly opened a new array of concerns for Mr. Baker.
Imagine what was going through my mind.
Yes, I can understand why you had doubt. And I can most certainly understand why that opened up another can of worry worms for you.
I couldn't believe it myself. I just took it as that it was a total miracle from God.
Only a definitive result can alleviate Mr. Baker's distress.
You are the father.
Mr. Pendleton and his mother are convinced that he could not possibly be the father of the plaintiff's child.
Pendleton, you are here today with your mother. You claim you are unable to have children. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
The physical characteristics of the baby have further fueled his doubts.
I'm out my eyes, nothing. And in spite of that, I've been in a relationship for 8 years prior to this. I tried for 6 years to have a baby. So
But he thinks my daughter looks like his father's. What are you talking about?
You say it's his mother. She's meddling.
Yes.
And she's the one that is putting this notion in his head that he's not Love's biological father.
His mother expressed these concerns in court.
She said she was with another man at the same time.
First, I want to understand the relationship between the two of you. What was the nature of this relationship? Committed, or what were you
we
all?
were together for a while and separated, but we were still having sex. When she got pregnant, she told me she was pregnant. And then like 2 weeks later, she called me and said it's a possibility, that the baby...
At one point, the plaintiff herself needed to ascertain the identity of the true father. Having previously previously informed Mr. Pendleton that he was not the father.
Your conception date and the window got moved.
And they were trying to tell me that I wasn't as far as I knew I was. Like, they tried to make it seem like I wasn't in my pregnancy, but I knew I was farther than what they were saying.
So you basically knew more than the doctor.
It's my body.
Is this your first baby?
No, it's not.
Calm that neck down when I'm asking you questions, because I'm trying to understand what your point is.
When the baby was born, the defendant immediately requested a DNA test.
Can't do it. She said, well, I'm glad the baby not yours anyway. This is in text messages on Messenger and Facebook. Like, shit, my mom up told her the same thing. The baby not yours. I don't want nothing from y'all. Leave me alone. And then 2 weeks later or a couple of days, she'll hit me back like, oh, the baby yours. Like, make up your mind. Like, is it mine or not?
Were you doing the back and forth because he was making you angry?
I told him one time, yes.
It has become evident that these individuals are experiencing a tumultuous emotional journey.
Was he there in the hospital?
No. And I called him and was like, I had the baby, and he was like, well, I'll come up there and we can get the DNA test, and he never came.
What has Mr. Pendleton done for her?
Honestly, spent a little bit of time, like got her on a couple weekends.
Yeah, and I come get her during the day.
Let us proceed with the DNA test.
Really just walking a tightrope, trying not to fall for the baby because you don't know if it's yours.
Baby, excuse me.
He wants it to be his baby.
My baby does not have nothing to do with this drama. We have a lot of drama in between us. And I really just want this to come to an end, the whole denial part, because it's really like a lot.
Hilton, you are the father.
Explore additional paternity court videos available on our channel, and kindly remember to subscribe and share. We welcome your thoughts on these paternity cases. Please feel free to express them in the comment section.
This man has spent almost 16 years ignoring his children while trying to pursue a rap career. Not trying to pursue his GED, not trying to go to college. I put myself 90 hours through college raising 3 children on my own. I've always done hair. This man does nothing.
I slept on the couch. I wouldn't even sleep in the bed with her.
The reason why he ain't sleeping in the bed, he was never at home. He'll come home when it's time for me to go to work. How you gonna sleep in the bed and you too much in the streets?
Because I didn't want to look in your face.
I have been homeless because I can't pay my bills. 66 1/3% of my check, and I can't pay rent. I can't do nothing. I don't have a life, and I have got the proof of my rares when I'm back over.
Can you believe it? Miss Dennis has never even spoken to the man she believes is her father. She's never seen him, talked to him, or even heard his voice. This shocking revelation sets her on a quest to finally uncover the truth about her real dad, and things are about to get even crazier.
But you have never seen him. You have never spoken to him. So today will be the very first day you will do that. And I wanted to make sure you were okay and you were prepared.
All I've known of him is these pictures that I've had my entire life. These are pictures of my mother and him at their wedding.
And so you've had these pictures, but you have not had your biological father.
Not one bit.
Hold the phone. This is where it gets juicy. Judge Lake presents the case of Dennis versus Dennis, where Miss Dennis is about to see her supposed father for the first time. But just as the moment arrives, Mr. Dennis drops a bombshell. He completely denies being her biological dad. The drama is heating up and there's more to come.
Miss Dennis, today will be the very first day you've ever laid eyes on the man you known to be your father. And I just want to make clear that you understand that deny is your biological father. Jerome, at this time, I'd ask that please escort Mr. Dennis into the courtroom so we can begin the proceedings.
Mr. Dennis shares his side of the story, casting doubt on his paternity and blaming his wife's possible affairs for his suspicions. His version of events is full of unanswered questions, making the situation even more complicated. Just when it seems things couldn't get worse, another twist appears.
The position here right now today is to give her closure, being the father or not being the father, which to me, I believe I'm not, because when me and her mother were married, I was a truck driver at the time. On Memorial Day weekend, I was down in Florida. I called her phone. She is out on the lake in the middle of the night by herself on an antique wooden boat with her ex-boyfriend.
In a surprising turn, Mr. Dennis reveals that he has been asking for a DNA test for years, but his requests were repeatedly denied. He even presents a stack of paperwork to prove his case, adding more frustration and legal complications to the mix. The tension keeps rising, and the next revelation is even more shocking.
I have requested from her mother, and I have proof for DNA test and everything else, that I have been denied by courts from her mother and everybody else.
What is this, sir?
That is proof of the DNA request that I have requested from the courts. But with her mother denying, I could not get a DNA test.
I heard the story, the full story, finally when I was 7 or 8 years old.
Miss Mora, the mother, fires back over the phone, denying Mr. R. Dennis's accusations of cheating. She insists that she was faithful throughout their marriage, leading to a heated clash of opposing stories. Both sides are firmly standing their ground, making it impossible to know who is telling the truth.
This situation, it was not after we were married that I went on a boat with a friend, and my children were there. In fact, he let my daughter drive the boat. He's a good friend of mine.
She was dating him at the time we met.
Mr. Dennis, that you cheated with him.
She is telling
which
a
led to
fable
you
story.
becoming...
Then comes a heartbreaking moment. Mr. Dennis reveals that he has been struggling financially for years, paying child support for a child he's not even sure is his. The weight of the situation becomes even heavier, and just when it seems like things can't get more tangled, another layer of drama unfolds.
Dennis, you say you have been denied DNA test that you've needed.
Yes, ma'am, for
20-something years.
I have been homeless because of I can't pay rent. I pay my bills 66 1/3% of my check, and I can't pay rent. I can't do nothing. I don't have a life, and I have got the proof of my rares what I'm back owed.
Miss Dennis finally opens up about the pain of growing up without a father. She questions why the man she believes to be her dad never seemed to care. Her emotional confession is filled with years of hurt, confusion, and unanswered questions.
Child, my father travels across state lines, drives trucks, makes deliveries, and shows up for a living. But he can't do those things for me.
I can understand.
That's what she's lived with for 20-something years. And I know you are being kind, and I know you are reserving a lot of your emotion because you're trying to be strong.
Thank you.
And now, the moment of truth. Get ready to gasp because the DNA results are in.
Court, Mr. Dennis, you are the father.
Buckle up for a wild ride. Miss Mitchell reveals that she first met Mr. Jordan at a courthouse when she was just 7 years old. He was there for a child support case, claimed her as his daughter, and started providing financial support. But in a shocking twist, he later acted as if she were a complete stranger. This is just the beginning of a story filled with unexpected turns.
The defendant, Mr. Jordan, in a house when you were 7 years old. You claimed he denied paternity testing at that time and claimed you as his daughter. But since that time, he has denied used to treat you like his daughter.
Get your tissues ready. This one is emotional. Miss Mitchell is here today to find out if Mr. Jordan is truly her father or just another man from her mother's past. After losing her mom, she's been left with more questions than answers and is hoping today will bring her some clarity. The judge understands her pain and even shares her own experience with loss, creating a heartfelt moment in the courtroom. Next, we hear Mr. Jordan's side of the story, and it's going to be eye-opening.
He is my biological father because I lost my mother a year ago from breast cancer. I want to fill that void. I don't have no one else. It's just me.
Not knowing stepped up to the plate during that time, so I only imagine.
Mr. Furr. Jordan steps up and shares his backstory. He explains how he took on the role of a father without any DNA proof, making a huge leap of faith. At one point, he even prepared to adopt Miss Mitchell, but her mother suddenly put a stop to it. Now, he's about to reveal some shocking doubts about his paternity that will leave everyone stunned.
Oh, and I found out about her. Hey, all I could do was step up. Saw this young lady in the courthouse. I sat down and spoke with her, and I immediately raised my hand and said, hey, we don't need a paternity test. And I told her, I say, I'm your daddy, baby, right here.
Things take a deeper turn as Mr. Jordan admits he was uncertain about being her father from the very beginning. His relationship with Miss Mitchell's mother was brief, and despite his doubts, he still tried to bond with Miss Mitchell over car maintenance, of all things. But when the car's brakes failed the next day, everything fell apart. How this incident plays into the courtroom drama remains to be seen.
Me off every time. It was like every once or twice a year when he said yeah.
I was trying to teach her how to be self-sufficient.
He stood there with me as I was doing my own break. I left, went to work the next day. My brakes came off on the freeway.
Flashing back to when Miss Mitchell was just 7, Mr. Jordan once stood in front of a judge and willingly claimed her as his daughter. But as the years passed, it's as if he forgot about that moment entirely, leaving his fatherly responsibilities behind. Now, Miss Mitchell is ready to present some serious evidence to challenge his claim.
Bench, the
judge asked me, do you know who your father is? I said, no. That's when he came up and said what he said about, that's when I was like, okay, well, you're my dad. So I'm thinking he about to start coming over. I'm about to be with him. I didn't see him for years. Even when my daughter passed away, he didn't call me.
I didn't know she was pregnant.
Miss Mitchell is not holding back. She pulls out her birth certificate, which is just as empty as Mr. Jordan's recent recollection of being her father. She's laying out the facts, showing just how uncertain everything has been regarding her paternity. The emotional roller coaster is only gaining momentum.
I don't have his name, nothing.
So you're not listed on the birth certificate,
and also,
sir.
mother even doubted me. When I called trying to talk to her, why are you calling my house and that's not your father?
But whenever she called me there to help her for whatever the reason.
That's a lie.
Then comes a powerful moment. Miss Mitchell reads a heartfelt letter to Mr. Jordan, calling him out for his absence all these years. The emotions in the courtroom reach an all-time high as her words strike deep. It's a scene straight out of a drama, leaving everyone on edge. But the tension is about to escalate even further.
Even using that word brings up an image of pain. Lonely nights and years of, I never did anything to you for you to treat me the way you did over the years. There were times when I called you trying to fight in you, and all you did was laugh like you're doing now.
A sibling showdown is next. Miss Mitchell and Miss Wagner, Mr. Jordan's confirmed daughter, face off in a heated argument. This isn't just a minor disagreement. It's a full-blown clash with accusations and denials flying back and forth. The courtroom turns into a battleground, but the biggest reveal is just around the corner.
Growing up,
I'm the first one. So, of course
she always first.
I am the first one. We don't know nobody else. Don't
Whatever.
Girl, right here. All this crap. No,
what you are
She is
fake.
not like that.
Whatever,
You gonna do what I tell you to do because I'm a big sister.
No, you want to tell me.
What's interesting are you fighting just like sisters.
And now, the moment of truth. Drum roll, please.
Mr. Jordan, you are her father.
Guess who just entered the chat? Miss Bronson. That's who. She's always believed Mr. Roberts was her father, but now she's in court to confirm it because Mr. Roberts has started having doubts.
Thompson, you have always known the defendant to be your biological father, but have opened your case against him to prove paternity because he now claims he has reason to deny he is your father.
Mr. Roberts thought everything was fine in fatherhood until a few years ago when someone suggested he might not actually be the dad. Enter Mr. Banks, who is also stepping into the paternity drama, claiming he could be the real father.
You believe Miss Bronson was your firstborn 3 years ago when your world was turned upside down with the news that you may not be her biological father, and Mr. Bank claimed he is.
Miss Bronson is not happy about this situation. She is completely convinced that Mr. Roberts is her father. No doubts, no questions, no second guesses. But Mr. Roberts isn't so sure anymore.
I feel Mr. Roberts is my father. He's the only father I've known for 29 years. That's my father, period. I know him my whole life. He the only one I call my father. That's who I grew up known as my father. So Mr. Roberts is my biological father. That's it.
Here's the thing. Mr. Roberts has been financially supporting Miss Bronson her entire life, even though his name isn't on her birth certificate. Now that's commit flat.
Times I was there and I would also order child support.
Are you on her birth certificate?
Oh, Your Honor, I'm not on her birth certificate.
So, Miss Bronson, all your life, the man that you were told was your father, you believe father, and you had no reason to doubt it.
Yes, Your Honor, up until 2009.
Back to 2009. Miss Bronson's mom drops a bombshell over the phone, casually mentioning that Mr. Banks might actually be her real father. Imagine getting that call. Hey, remember that guy I said might be your dad? Talk about a shocker.
What happened in 2009?
I had a phone conversation with my mother. Then she mentioned Mr. Banks, and she said, don't you remember the guy that I told you thought he was your father? When she said that to me, Your Honor, it was a what moment? Like, what are you talking about? She said that he wanted to get in contact with me. I gave her my number to give to him, or she gave me, I can't remember how we actually got in contact. And then we reached out to one another.
Did you know Mr. Banks? You know who he was?
No, Your Honor.
Now, picture this. Mr. Roberts is just going about his life when his fiancée drops another truth bomb. Babe, we need to talk. You might not be Miss Bronson's father. That conversation probably left him needing a moment to process, or maybe a stiff drink.
They told me that she needed to talk to me about something, and that's when I found out. I was kept in the dark about all this. I never knew anything about Mr. Banks. I also, spent 8 months in jail for unpaid child support, $75,000 in arrears.
You don't even get a call. Your fiancé comes to you and says...
Possibility that Jasmine is not my biological daughter.
Here comes Mr. Banks with his own side of the story. He recalls a conversation with Miss Bronson's mom years ago in a park, where she hinted he could be the father based purely on a family resemblance. Family reunions must be interesting with this group.
Did you become aware that you potentially could be Miss Bronson's biological father?
I can recall when she was about 6 or 7, and I ran to her mother, Jasmine, and her sister in the park. Then she had told me that Jasmine, my daughter then.
Oh, do you remember the words she used?
No, I don't. don't. I just recall her saying that Jasmine was my daughter.
All this time, Mr. Roberts had no idea about these paternity whispers. He was completely in the dark until Mr. Banks suddenly re-entered the picture, stirring up all sorts of family drama.
Nothing on Mr. Banks. I dated Miss Bronson. I even married her 2 months after Jasmine born, and I went on my business as raising, it's the start of my family. But possibility, if I known that earlier, it probably wouldn't have been. I would have discontinued that relationship. And I look at it like this, as being young, I would have been like, wow, I dodged the bullet. I did the best, and I took responsibility.
Now Mr. Roberts is feeling all kinds of emotions: anger, frustration, and confusion. He's wondering why no one told him sooner there was even a question about Miss Bronson's paternity.
Yeah, because we've been on vacation, birthdays, you know, she came down to Maryland, lived with us for 8 years, and now, you know, she got her first apartment, which we live in this complex. I live in Benefit, and she live around the corner. So I take them to school, her children, taking them out my house. We still involved in each other's life to this day. But we here to find out if I'm her biological father or Mr. Banks.
And now the moment of truth. The DNA results are in. Guess what?
Has been determined by this court. Mr. Robert, you are not the father.
She's still my daughter. I love you. You're always going to be my daughter.
Here we go. Mr. Redmond takes center stage, claiming he owes over $110,000 in child support for 2 daughters, Leandria and Kesha Redmond, whom he insists are not his. This sets the scene for a courtroom battle over paternity and financial responsibility.
You currently owe more than $1,000 in child support for the defendant's 2 teenage daughters, LaQuandria Redmond and Kaisha Redmond, who you say are not yours. Ms. Patterson, you say you are 100% certain that both girls are his daughters, and you cannot wait to prove the truth.
Mr. Redmond shares his struggles, revealing that he even spent time behind bars due to child support issues. He presents paperwork to Judge Lake, detailing the overwhelming costs and legal troubles that have turned his life upside down. But hold on, the drama is just getting started.
Over 19 years, I've been taking care of these kids, Your Honor. I've been going to jail, and I know for a fact that these kids aren't mine. I've gone to jail because I owe more than $10,000.
What is that, sir?
This is some from the courts where I owe over $10,000 in child support paper.
Let me see that paperwork, Drew. You all are married.
No, ma'am.
You're not married.
Divorced.
Divorced now.
Things take a turn when Mr. Marshall steps up with evidence suggesting that Miss Patterson may have been unfaithful. He shares details about a suspicious encounter between Miss Patterson and another man, fueling Mr. Redmond's doubts about being the father.
Your Honor, as you can plainly see, her and her friend was in the bathroom, and he had his pants down.
That is a lie.
To the bathroom, Your Honor, his pants was down, and he quickly tried to pull them up.
What?
Yes, Your Honor.
You all were dating?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're saying that's not true?
That's not true.
And then comes the real bombshell. Mr. Marshall claims he caught Miss Patterson in bed with another man at her workplace. This revelation throws a wrench into the story, raising serious questions about Miss Patterson's loyalty and the true paternity of the children.
What is this?
I went to Miss Patterson's workplace, but at this point in time, at her job, the front people told me where she was at, how to find her location. I went back there, find the location that they told me to go. Miss Patterson in the bed with another man, on top of the man.
Really? So this is you observing?
Yes, ma'am.
The plot thickens as Mr. Redmond shifts his focus to Kesha, questioning whether he is really her father too. He describes the strained atmosphere at home, admitting that he often chose the couch over the bed. Evidence, he believes, that he couldn't be the father. Just when you think it can't get more complicated, it does.
I was so furious with Miss Patterson. When we left her hometown, I slept on the couch. I wouldn't even sleep in the bed with her.
The reason why he ain't sleeping in the bed, he was never at home. He'll come home when it's time for me to go to work. How you gonna sleep in the bed and you too much in the streets?
Because I didn't want to look in your face.
Now comes the emotional part. Kesha and Leandria Redmond enter the courtroom, opening up about their experiences. They've always been told that Mr. Redmond is their father, and their heartfelt testimonies highlight the personal toll this paternity dispute has taken on.
Even as children, you all don't remember?
When I was always taken to go to his mother's house, because he didn't have a house. He's always in and out of my life. He never done anything for me.
And that hurts you?
I mean, it did, but then I had to realize again that...
Has it hurt you?
When we was homeless and we had nothing, we called him and he never gave us nothing, asked for money or anything.
And now, the moment of truth. DNA results are in. Drum roll, please.
Court, Mr. Redmond, you are the father.
We both look alike.
Strap in, folks. The courtroom drama kicks off with Mr. Porio dropping a bombshell. He's accusing Miss Touch and her daughter, Miss Lutz, of pocketing $150,000 from his father's death settlement by falsely claiming Miss Lutz as his sister. He's convinced she's not, and he believes Miss Touch has been running a long con to get that inheritance. Let's see how this wild ride unfolds.
Mr. Poravecchio, you claim that the defendants, Miss Touche and her daughter, Miss Lutz, fraudulently received $150,000 in settlement money from the death of your father, Ricky Poravecchio Sr. Because Miss Lutz is not your biological sister and her mother covered up that fact.
Hold on to your popcorn. Mr. Porio dives even deeper into the family saga. He recounts how his father tragically died while working on a tugboat, officially ruled as an accident. But he's not buying the picture-perfect family story and is demanding a DNA test to prove his case. The drama is only getting started.
Mr. Poravecchio, how have you and your family been defrauded by the defendant?
My father was on a tugboat working and he drowned. Accidental death is what it said on his death certificate.
You won't believe this. The courtroom turns into a full-blown soap opera as they dig into Miss Lutz's real last name. She was born under a different name, but later switched to Porio to cash in on Social Security benefits. Family secrets are spilling left and right, making this inheritance battle even.
Evidence right here on the birth certificate.
You submitted this birth certificate because originally she was named, Ms. Lutz was named Theo. And then later on, her last name was changed to Poravecchio. You felt like she in some way affected settlement distribution?
Correct, Your Honor. A week after my dad was declared deceased, Miss Lutz's name changed from Theo and Messi.
Grab your tissues, or maybe your popcorn, because family members start unloading emotional testimonies, pointing fingers, and dredging up past conflicts. Miss Lutz tugs at heartstrings, talking about her daddy issues and trying to reclaim her Porio status. But don't wander off yet. The blame game is about to go into overtime.
Because I have never heard that I was not a Poravecchio. Got into it on Facebook. He actually met my mom at Mardi Gras and begged her to let us back in her life.
Yes, I did.
And then when we were at a restaurant celebrating my brother's birthday after being in contact for a year with her parents. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And I remember it very clearly. She made my brother cry.
Could it get any spicier? Absolutely. Now accusations are flying that Miss Touch may have stepped out on Mr. Porio Sr. with a mystery man. She's firing back with denials and eye rolls, insisting it's all one big misunderstanding. This family feud is delivering more twists than a pretzel factory. And trust me, you won't want to miss what's next.
When I first met, I was somewhere around 16 years old. I mean, we just immediately, he's a handsome, good-looking Italian man. I just couldn't help myself. I fell in love. And it was just him and I, just us together. Things were great. I got pregnant. I was almost 18 years old because he started showing signs of jealousy, issues going on. We got past that.
And now, the moment of truth. The DNA results are in. Drum roll, please.
Has been determined by this court. Mr. Poravecchio and Ms. Lutz are siblings.
Thank you. Keep up, Rowdy. Keep him up. You wrong.
Buckle up, buck up. The drama kicks off with Miss Nazarene throwing down the gauntlet, accusing Mr. Rami of ditching his dad duties and leaving her and their kids in the lurch. She's not holding back, calling him out for ghosting them emotionally and financially. And trust me, the tea is just starting to spin.
Today to sue your ex-boyfriend for being an absentee father and a deadbeat dad. You say he has caused you, your two children, much pain and suffering by never stepping up as their father. Mr. Rami claimed Ms. Nazarene has done immeasurable to your life and career by her very difficult personality.
Now the gloves are officially off. In a fiery back and forth, Mr. Rami fires back, painting Miss Nazarene as the queen of drama. Irrational, volatile, and impossible to talk to. He insists her antics have turned his life into a chaotic roller coaster. But Miss Nazarene isn't letting that slide. She claps back, bringing up a shady incident where she claims he swiped $500. What's next? Oh, just wait.
Complete irrationality. The decision to be overtly angry, volatile, and violent for things that I consider to be then important. Very verbally, physically abusive.
Is that true, Ms. Nazarene?
No, it's absolutely not true. He and I have had one incident where he stole $500 from me and had me and my baby in a car that had a steering column that fit.
Just when you thought things couldn't get messier, Miss Nazarene goes all in, dragging Mr. Rami for chasing rap dreams instead of job applications, all while she's been grinding through college and solo parenting their trio. Don't blink, because the fireworks are just getting started.
This man has spent almost 16 years ignoring his children while trying to pursue a rap career. Not trying to pursue his GED, not trying to go to college. I put myself 90 hours through college raising 3 children on my own. I've always done hair. This man does nothing
fact that we might have some children together and spend a short period of time enjoying each other's company.
Plot twist. The judge steps in, grilling Mr. Rami about his financial contributions, or the lack thereof. He admits he's not the most consistent with child support, but insists he helps out when he can. Oh snap, but hold tight. What comes next is a game changer.
Well, she decided to move to the other side of the country without talking to me. Well, it depends on what steady is. No, I haven't sent aid every 2 weeks. No, I haven't. But when I've had a job, I have sent help. Whenever she's hit me up for money, if I was able to,
yes, and $100. Yes, oh, absolutely. Over the past 17, 16 years, he paid child support when he was with ex-second wife.
Boom. Miss Nazarene drops a bombshell, revealing that Mr. Hart, Rami pulled a full-on Houdini for 3 years, leaving her solo with a toddler. The crowd goes wild, and just like that, the plot thickens. But trust me, you won't believe what's coming next.
So what happened to me being 7 months with a 1-year-old and you were gone for 3 years? Truth be told.
There was an incident. I was asked to bring the car to her because she had Messiah with her. Can you bring the car to Tarzan from Los Angeles? I tell her no problem. I would love to do that for you. Actually, what's funny is I'll tell you this story because it's more recent.
It's about to go off as they start hurling text messages at each other like dodgeballs. The tension? Unreal. These messages spill a war of words straight out of a daytime drama. And the next exchange? Oh, it's a cliffhanger that'll have you shook.
I ain't downplaying. You trying to make me lose my youth because you're a deadbeat. I'm ready to smash you monsters. Your family does not care about us because we're too black-skinned to be a big fat yellow hoe to get love
and I mean it.
And care.
And that's the truth. And I meant every one of them.
Weren't they a young person? Did you say 21 years old?
No, they were
the
not
first grandchild.
Now, grab more snacks, because here comes the mic drop moment. Judge Lake doesn't hold back, calling out Mr. Rami's laid-back attitude, which is definitely not winning him any Dad of the Year awards. And when she calls him a loser to jolt some sense into him, the grand finale is about to hit. And trust me, it's a showstopper.
Mr. Rami, will you make that effort to see them tomorrow?
Yes.
I don't care if look, you're a writer, but don't write two on the text.
Good.
Just
yes,
say,
tomorrow.
And then if you could just give him a time, nothing else, and then you just say, I'll be there, and then
I have my hat.
Be there. Can you do that?
Yeah.
Thank you.